begins. Begin war. Saga begins. Begin war. The saga begins. Begin war.
What up, Night Core? It's your main man, DJKnight, and we ready to get it in for that third episode of Shock the Thunder. So if you guys are ready to party like we are, you know what time it is. You got yours truly, DJKnight. I'll be hosting the festivities for the evening. And if you look over to what looks like my right, like if you're talking about my arm, we got Will BlackOni up in the house. What up, man?
How you doing?
I'm awesome, bro. How about yourself?
I'm so good.
Good, because I just asked you that twice, and I'm glad you ain't paying no attention to that. All right, below me, we're going to get to it in a minute. In my bottom right, we got DJTechLive. What's good, baby?
What's going on? Hello.
What's going on, ladies? How you doing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah.
I've been out sexied.
Oh, yeah. And below me, we've got the lovely QMGSaint. Bro, say hello to the fam. Introduce yourself. Who are you? What do you do? Tell the fam what's up.
What's up, guys? My name is QMGSaint. I'm a resident Twitch broadcaster for about 3 years, just coming through to hang with my boys today. During the day, I kind of do some PR stuff on the side, and at night, I become probably one of the worst broadcasters on Twitch, but I have fun doing it. So thanks for having me.
Nah, man. Pleasure to have you, man. And for
They don't even have it ready, which I'm glad they're taking their time because they really need to see they need to be the ones to come out next, not first, because now let PlayStation, let Xbox do their thing, see what the competition is like, and step up the game. Because the Wii U, man, I don't own it, and that's hard for me because I'm a Nintendo fanboy. I don't own Wii U. And Smash Brothers came out. That's like in my lifeblood. But at the end of the day, if this new Nintendo can hang out with the big boys, they're gonna make a comeback. But I know Nintendo's pushing the handheld market, and that's getting eaten up by cell phones. So what do you do?
Bro, the cell phone market destroyed
It's
the
huge.
market for portable game consoles. And I'm
The
you're talking
money.
to somebody
Have you
who's
seen
got
the money?
Bro, I got a 3DS and a Vita. Like real life, I got a Vita right here. Like I love the Vita. The Vita is an amazing platform that people slept on and still kind of sleep on. Like Sony's sleeping on it, yo. Like that thing is as powerful as a PS3. How do you not do work with something that is literally as powerful as a PS3 in your hand? And they slept on it, man. It's ridiculously mind-boggling to me.
Yeah, my only two complaints ever about Vita are like the proprietary memory cards. Of course, people got pissed off about that, which I can understand. And two, like it didn't feel as comfortable to hold over. Like we're gamers, we play for a long time. After a while, your hands cramp up a little bit on it. But I mean, other than that, I agree with you, man. The Vita was awesome. It was amazing. It is amazing.
Does Twitch even have a booth at E3?
Oh yeah, Twitch is gonna be at E3 heavy.
Twitch
Like
is hosting E3.
yeah.
Okay.
They're huge at E3. Twitch is like pretty much the driving force at E3. Where what was it called? What was it? G4. G4 used to be the driving force. Now Twitch is the driving force. Look how many viewers on YouTube. Twitch. It's insane. Like you have to have Twitch host these things, man. Like Twitch should be hosting every convention. I don't know why it's not a thing yet.
Wait, what about YouTube? Isn't YouTube also being a big part of that?
YouTube though.
We are talking about one, that's YouTube.
Yeah.
And two, Twitch is still like the place to go.
Mhm.
If you're going to look at video game content as far as convention wise right now, like Twitch has so many personalities that they could just. One thing that we could talk about is the fact that they generally stick with the same personalities. But let's be real, that's almost commonplace on Twitch, right? Like every event, you generally look at the biggest players in the game being the ones that get pushed in the forefront, right? And that makes sense to me. But it's really weird. All right, hold on for a second. They're telling me my mic's low.
Yeah, turn yourself up. I mean, I hear you fine, but you can't.
Yeah, I can hear you fine.
Well,
I think
y'all listening through here. Like
You said the music should come down a bit more.
I already turned the music down. Is it still too loud?
I might as well just play it down to like a crawl zone.
I try to keep it on so that way there's no like just like silence in the background.
There.
I got
Yeah.
it down. All right, so
But y'all don't like me breathing into the mic?
I turn away from the mic when I breathe.
I mean, think about it like this.
How you doing?
Hi.
Hi.
So I did just let the audio levels. Hopefully, I'm a little bit louder for you guys. Hopefully, you can still hear everybody fine and dandy. If not, I'll make an adjustment. But hopefully, this works a little bit better. Worst case scenario, I'll pull one of those, and then we'll see how this works out. But nah, man. Like we were talking about, G4 used to be the king, like you were talking about, and G4 wasn't it. Like it was the goal. Like I used to just watch nothing but G4 when E3 happened, because they would always have the new trailers. Like the second the new trailers came out, I may not have been able to go check it out. Well, they just have like here 20 minutes of all the new loops, of all the cool stuff that just happened that you missed, and all the trailers. So yeah, man, they've done some things. They've done a lot of work, and Twitch is like the forefront now. So that's a huge thing. And I think one of the things that's going to happen, like people sleep on it, but I think as much as they use the same personalities, I think they're using those personalities because once you get to that level, that's a personality who can handle it at that level. So I think what they're going to start, like if they're smooth about it, you're going to start bringing in some of the smaller people who may not be as big. But I mean, you don't want to bring somebody in like that's fresh to streaming because you got to get that practice. But I get the odd feeling you can't sleep on the audience you have.
Yeah.
And not only the audience, the talent. The amount of talented streamers on Twitch is mind-boggling. This panel notwithstanding, of course. I mean, I like to think that we all put forth amazing content. But we could go, I'm sure each of us could name 2 or 3 people on Twitch that would kill it in a presentation.
Well, you brought up a good point because you're really good with space games. So when it comes to talk about No Man's Sky, any new space sci-fi, because that genre is growing, you would be the perfect person to talk about. You play it every day. You do it every day. You know what you're talking about. You know these games in and out. And when you see something new, it's going to excite you. You put me on there. I mean, I might be excited about space. Let's talk about Eat My Addiction on a space game. He may be excited about No Man's Sky. Maybe don't give a crap about what's the other one?
Star Citizen or Elite
Star
Dangerous.
Citizen, right? I mean,
Well, he plays them. Not as much as I do, but he
I'm
plays
just
them.
saying, but your excitement level, like when I watch you, you see that you're excited about it. When I watch somebody else, they might just be, just mellow about it. And that's not going to get the crowd excited about it. That's not going to like really help anything. And Twitch, I look at it as Riot. Twitch is becoming the new Riot. Riot started off small. People looked at it as not a threat. Now they're swallowing every talent there is in the business. It's either Blizzard or Riot at the end of the day. And Twitch is becoming that monster. It's literally, we took G4 people already. If we don't have G4 people, we're taking IGN people. We already swallowed that big. What's that guy named Gregory from IGN? He was actually good.
Greg Miller.
Greg Miller.
Yeah.
He's actually good at
Game over,
IGN.
Greggy.
We swallowed him. We have him. Like, it's crazy,
I have to just, I'm sitting here laughing because we all know everybody watched G4 for Olivia Munn. Let's be real.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
I feel
Mo,
offended. I'm not in this
Morgan
conversation.
Webb, bro. Morgan Webb.
I'm not.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I was watching Attack on the Show every single day on the clock.
Hey, she's in that new X-Men movie too.
She's
Psylocke, though. That's Psylocke, though.
in action. Y'all remember her?
That's
Little
all I'm
Allison
saying.
Hayes.
That's Psylocke, though.
Oh man.
Yeah.
But yeah,
But
man,
yeah.
but no, it's just like people pointing out in the chat, man. Like, yeah, people are leaving companies and changing to different companies, and these companies are the reasons that people are going to these conventions. And if E3 don't tighten up, they don't need to go to E3.
Yeah.
Like, think about it. EA is literally having their own convention on their own space.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, if E3 loses Bethesda, it is over.
Nah, GG, man.
Like,
No, but see, it's
Bethesda
Bethesda-
is the,
No, go ahead, go ahead.
No. All I'm saying, like, Bethesda is just, that's the monster you want to cuddle. Like, they should. And Bethesda's so good at their presentations. Like last year, Xbox, PlayStation didn't even matter. VR didn't matter. Bethesda came out, everybody was screaming, hollering. Everything was on them. Every camera was on them. E3 normally splits up depending on. I remember at G4, you could either watch this section or that section, depending on what channel you were on. Everything was on Bethesda. Bethesda had 100,000 people in the pre-show. It was just a countdown. So it's just like, if they go off and do their own thing, E3 just needs to be called, like, what's the other gamer convention that doesn't matter anymore?
What's that other thing that used to be a big thing, but ain't shit no more?
Yeah, it turned into like a technology convention. I forgot what it's called, but it used to be a second game convention.
I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, all the developers got to. I forgot what it's called, but it's not even a thing now. You can't even remember it. Like, that's gonna be E3,
But when it comes down to it, I really think the reason E3 is falling off in comparison to the alternatives is that literally when Penny Arcade came out with the first PAX, that was the downfall of what E3 was, right? Not only did we have the bullshit with the booth babes and how they were just like being disrespectful to women and just like, here, put on a skimpy ass outfit, and it's like, GDC, I think that is exactly
yeah, GDC,
but, But like, E3 has a lot of that bullshit that you don't hear anywhere near as much about at PAX, and if it happens at PAX, so much of a stink gets made of it that the leaders of Penny Arcade, they're like, all right, so let's not do that bullshit again next year. Fuck that. We're banning that from our conventions moving forward, and that's huge. When you have an audience that is that fired up about your work, that they'll go public and like the stories will just get massive. Like, all right, they're being assholes about booth babes. All right, cool. What booth babes?
Right.
What's
And the world is changing, right? Like, Knight. Like, I was watching a lot of I was seeing a lot of your social media because I didn't get to go to East. But like, look how the world is changing. Back in the day when E3 was huge, social media wasn't really a thing, right? We didn't have people making their own reports, their own reviews. Like, now you don't have the video game magazine industry is so small. It's like non-existent. You go to websites to look up stuff. Hell, you go to Twitter.
Twitter.
Really, you'd be surprised, man. More people go to Twitch now for their shit than anything,
Right.
man.
That's my point. And Twitch is the big monster now. So now it's like, you want to see E3 coverage, you go to Twitch.
Yep.
You watch Rock Frames, you watch Chocolate Thunder, you watch whoever's covering it, or you do your
Not Chocolate Thunder. Let's get it right.
Of course you watch
We
Chocolate Thunder,
we really need to do next year. We got to do an E3 coverage.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway,
That'd be wonderful. I'm down.
Oh man, rip PSM indeed. PlayStation Magazine was glorious, man. So was Xbox Magazine. I mean, Xbox Magazine still getting made last I checked, but it's like, I think the thing that got me in the Xbox Magazine was right. But the thing that got me in the Xbox Magazine was the demo discs. Like the original PlayStation Magazine had the demo discs. They're useless now.
Yeah.
PC Gamer don't come with demo discs, and if it do come with demo discs, it's like, why the hell would you bother with the demo disc? Get out of here with the bush.
And the other thing too is that leaks happen so often and so like quickly that it's like
It's outdated by the time it prints.
Yeah, exactly. It's outdated, and like for E3, the company's going to E3 and deciding to back out. Like, you know, half the shit gets leaked before they even get to the stage. So like, well, their big announcement, like happened with Metal Gear Solid 5. They had the Red Band trailer got leaked right before they were going to go on stage and present. And they was like, well, we know you guys already saw it. It leaked yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
And yeah, demo disc or a thing in the past, we got early access, and that's the new word now. Early access this, early access that. You know, we used to beg the developer. I mean, no, developers wanted us to play their games and stuff. Now it seems like developers are so anxious to get it out now, they just give it to us.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just, you know, it's to that point. That's because everybody's making video games now. It's not just Santa Monica Studios. It's not just, you know, the EU studios. It's people are like, hey, there's a free program out there. Let me make my own video game, and if it does well, we'll sell it to this company, and this company will make it, and they're gonna want to do it. You know, so I think it's becoming more of a social media has just changed the way of everything, and PAX is so good because what's my dream? I could never dream back then of meeting anybody that works for Nintendo or meeting anybody that works for Sony. I got Sony reps now. What? Like, you get to meet the people behind the scenes and see who's actually developing the game. You get that sense of person, like opinions, giving the opinion. I really didn't like the way Call of Duty made me feel like I was in a box. Is there any way you can do this? Well, think about it. Never heard that before. So that's why E3 is kind of just dipping out. It's like an Apple convention at the end of the day. You're sitting there listening to them say, hoopra, hoopra. You know, you really don't have a voice. So when you have a voice at PAX, that's the next monster, man. PAX is going to take over. I feel in 2 or 3 years, E3 is gone, man.
It's pretty crazy to see because this has been my third year, fourth year going to PAX. And the very first year I went, wasn't even partnered. I went to PAX East, and just to see how small the Twitch booth was compared to now, and the reception that you get from going to different booths and just saying, hey, I'm a streamer, I'm a broadcaster. Like 4 years ago, I would do that, and they were like, and
you could know, like, would you like to
press pass? No, okay, then you're not getting in this line. Now it's like, oh, okay, you work for Twitch, you do Twitch? Here, sign up, I'll give you 30 keys.
Right?
Free advertisement, man. That's the beauty of it. They're not spending any money because we're excited to take their game and show it. You know, and we're real about most of us are real about it. You know.
Yeah, that's the advertising money they would have spent doing some other shit that wouldn't have worked. You know.
Yeah, it was funny too because the first year I went, I remember they gave out like Twitch shirts. And back then, this is how like uneducated the devs were that I wore the Twitch shirt on Saturday and they thought I worked for Twitch. So I was getting into all of the press booths. Without waiting in line. I was like, yeah, I work. Yo, I've been at Twitch for like 2 years, man. We got this new product coming out. Just let me play the game real quick. Come in. Give me bottles of water and shit. I was like, damn, this feels like to be pressed.
I'm hungry, man.
Bro, like, one of the things that got me was when I got hit with originally, like once I started like streaming regularly and getting decent numbers, and then going to a convention and it was like, yeah, I stream. And they're like, all right, cool. Well, then come talk to us real quick. And that was before I got partnered. When I got partnered, they were like, oh, you're a partnered broadcaster? No, seriously. These people in the line, whatever people in the line, come talk with me right now in the back room. We gonna talk with you about some real. And that is a hugely different thing. Like, it's odd for me because I've been in games news and gaming industry following it for over a decade now. And when I say into it, I mean real life into it. I've started my website in 2006. And I was writing for other people before that. So I've been in the game for a reasonable amount of time. And then like I would go to places as a writer and be like, hey, I am a freelance writer here doing this. Do you have any space? And then they'd be like, nope. Later, and it's like, fuck, man. But now it's like, I'm a partner Twitch broadcaster. And they're like, well, please come with us. Here, take these keys. Let me bring these on you real quick. And it's like, damn, well, all right, cool.
So, having dinner with them, that shit is
right.
paying. When they're paying for it, I'm like, what? I'm like, reach for my wallet. What are you doing? I don't
The
know.
whole game. Was
Holding my wallet, no big deal.
Yeah, man. Like when I was eating like at this past TwitchCon, I was upset because I didn't have a lot of panels, official panels by Twitch. I was like, oh, I got one panel. And everybody's like, you're just lucky to have that. And I was like, well, no. But then I ended up having a lot more panels than I thought. And when Guild Wars 2 came along, when I was sponsored by them and I was playing their game regularly and stuff, took me out to dinner. They were telling me what is going on behind the scenes.
That's awesome. Ow! All right, fam, give us a sec. We're having some technical difficulties, so I'm gonna slide right here real quick, and I'm gonna get this fixed. But I'm gonna mute myself while we get this clarified, and then we'll be right back with some more Chocolate Thunder.
We're a couple of birds in a roof den, but to us it still feels like heaven. Cause we don't let the bad vibes get in, we don't let them win. Testify to the strength of a true bond, flying high over the heads of a root mob, staying at the revolution of the whole plot, kill 'em all with love. I don't care if they're talking about us. No, I don't care if they put us down. No, I don't care if the sky falls around us. We're riding on a pink cloud. Oh, oh. We're riding on a pink cloud.
All right, fam, technical issues have been clarified. We are going to resume with a little bit more of the Chocolate Thunder. All right, guys, you are unmuted.
All right, what's up? Sorry, guys, we had a picnic. It's okay.
Sometimes you gotta go party a little bit. Sometimes you gotta have those chocolate and caramel picnics, you know.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Those early light chocolate.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, I like chocolate covered strawberries, bro.
Yeah.
Don't
Actually,
even front, bro. It's a Godiva. Like,
no,
not far from here, fam. Like, the Godiva chocolate covered strawberries is flames. Y'all can laugh if you like.
So good.
Y'all can laugh if you like.
You know, every time you go to the bodega or like the corner store, you go grab you those chocolate covered cherries with the cream inside.
Oh, yeah, I'm allergic to cherries, so I wouldn't do too well.
I am so sorry to hear that, bro.
I wasn't always though. It's a shame, man. One day I was at my mom's place eating cherries, and the next thing I wasn't eating cherries.
Oh, man.
Well, we can talk about cherries.
Were you in the hospital after that?
I mean, like, it wasn't too serious. It's just
okay.
And a little bit closed.
A little bit.
That's magical.
I may or may have not died. I'm not sure.
I could be a zombie right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so back to E3. But no, man, I think we are pretty much on the real life aspect of it. Like, the industry has changed, the audience has changed. So since it's going to be really hard for developers to do their things on their own nowadays, just for other press, right? Like, press can't get it like they used to because somebody in their basement can outdo them when it comes to people paying attention to their content.
Mm-hmm.
So I really appreciate that. Now anybody can be enough of a journalist or a content creator that people care. And then you go to a convention like PAX that's made for gamers. Even if you're not a content creator, something like PAX was made so that way not only can we get together and play video games and talk about video games, hell, they have entire halls dedicated to board games and card games. Like, so all the geeky stuff that we like, we can go do. Like, you want to play a D&D tournament with people that live across the country and you don't have the proper internet to do it, then damn it, go to PAX and do it. So since the industry's changed to that, it's going to be really hard to keep it the way it used to be. It can't just be press anymore. And that's what the problem is when it comes out to E3 as it's expected to be.
Mm-hmm. I mean, look at Comic-Con. Look how much that's changed.
Yeah.
Comic-Con, you didn't hardly let anybody. It was like invite only back in the day. Now everybody goes, and it's bigger than it's ever been. They make so much money.
Huge.
And then the actors love the connection between them and fans. Like, a place where they can actually cut off and be like, when's the first time you heard that there were people actually playing WoW that was famous or into comics? Like Robbie Downey Jr. into comics. Ryan Reynolds was a Deadpool fan before he even was thought of.
No, he's been a Deadpool fan for years. He fought to get Deadpool made. And then you get to people like Vin Diesel. Vin Diesel's been a D&D maniac for years. He used to be a DM. And then you get into the fact that he likes games so much, he funded a studio to make a game on the Chronicles of Riddick series of movies. Like, that's
I didn't know that. The Chronicles of Riddick game was dope.
Yeah,
that was Tygon Studios. I want to say he started Tygon Studios.
That's so sick. I didn't know.
I don't even know if I don't know if they're still made, but like the fact is that he got to the point where he had enough cake to where he was like, you know what? I want somebody to make games. I want them to make tight games. Let's do this. And then he went and got it done. That's huge, man.
I mean, we saw you, QMGSaint, with Rick Fox. Like, the hell?
Yeah.
Like, you know, Rick Fox. Like,
yeah, that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, it's crazy how these. Yeah, what's her name? Mila Kunis. Oh God, Mila Kunis. Oh.
Man, yeah.
Yeah. So just thinking about all these stars who love video games and loves the industry and don't want to see it die. Like that connection, and for the fans to see that makes it even stronger. So it's probably a good thing that E3 is kind of getting watered down. Maybe they step their game up. Maybe they open it to more people. Because it used to not be invite only. I remember anybody that can get tickets could go to E3. Now it's invite only. I mean, it feels like a damn Apple convention. Like I said, it's like
who's really there?
Drink the Kool-Aid. That's it. Like, let it be open to people that can actually make a difference. You know. So
I went to E3 about 4 or 5 years ago, I believe. That was about 5 years now, and haven't been back since. Yeah. And I've gone to PAX every year since the first one.
And now have you not gone back because you just didn't want to, or?
I didn't see no purpose. It was more like you guys said, it was more exclusive to, you know, making business deals, talking to publishers, talking to developers. It was very, very business oriented and less about the community and less about the people that purchase these games. You know, they were there with an agenda, and the agenda is to get your game out there, get it out to the press.
That makes a good point. Why did you go into PR work? Like, what drove you to do it? What made you want to do that?
Why did I go into PR work? I need a job. No, I was playing.
That's the most basic excuse.
Nah.
Real excuse. No, like that's the most
I need
basic
money,
but real
but-
excuse you could combine to say anything. Like, bro, I need a job. What kind of questions that?
For real.
Bro,
I need to
I was hungry. I wanted to go and eat some steak, bro.
These
Like,
beans
that's easy.
ain't doing though, bro.
To be completely honest though, I've been doing Twitch for, this will be going on my 4th year now. And I've always enjoyed the background of Twitch, and because I know there's still, Twitch as a format and a platform is not perfect. There's a lot of things that still need to be corrected, need to be fixed. There's a lot of opinions that need to be changed. I felt like because of where I come from and I had a smaller channel and it became big, I lost that momentum because I went and I followed my degree after college. So I had to rebuild. I rebuilt my channel 3 times. I know what it is to have 1,000 people. I know what it is to have 20 people. I wanted to kind of bring that mindset and that knowledge to the masses of people on Twitch. And I wanted to kind of take like a background role and help people get to where they want to be on Twitch. And so that kind of drove me into the PR side of things, because it was probably not this last PAX East, but the one before, when I just sat there and I started talking to developers and publishers, and it was like, they don't get it. They don't understand Twitch. They're trying to, but they're a little late to the game. And from there on out, I was like, man, I really need to just start, educating people, because they really don't understand what Twitch is. They don't understand how organic it is. They don't understand how volatile it is. They treat it like traditional PR in a sense where it's black and white. You release a press release, that's it. You send out a game code, that's it. It's not. There's so much more to it. There's a lot of relationship building. There's a lot of, curbing the expectations of the developers, because this isn't a science. It'll never be a science. If it was a science, we all be rich.
Right.
So that was when I was like, all right, let me start transitioning more into a PR role. And then I got lucky. I broke into the industry and I got my foot in the door, and I've been just kind of just going with it ever since. That's why like my stream has been I do it more now when I have time and, have fun with it, instead of really focusing on like a schedule. And
Well, you just
being there
found
7
your
days a
calling,
week.
I like to say. Like, we're all looking for our calling.
Yeah, exactly.
We start our streams every single day. I mean, some people break into the streaming as a top streamer. DJKnight next year might blow up as a streamer, or he might blow up in more of a person that's the in-between of game developer and streamer. I might blow up in some other way. Will might blow up in more of a concept artist. Who knows? But the thing is, my point I was trying to prove is you're in this business industry because you care. And we need more people to care. And I think Twitch is skipping out on the medium to smaller streamers who actually care, where it's not about a buck for us, because we're hungry to do anything. Like when I was talking to, the funny thing is I got a panel. I got lucky enough to get a panel approved for TwitchCon, and DJ Wheat personally like emails me back and forth, and that connection needs to be happening with a lot of streamers, because it made me feel like, okay, I'm not just another name out there. Like they should have something to where they should have a program to where they hire people to tend to medium and small streamers, which I thought they had.
Yeah,
Guess what?
they should.
That's what I thought the whole like
Pluto
community
came from,
team
right?
was like.
Right.
Yeah, but Pluto's also on the partnership team. Like I'd imagine that's what the whole partnership team is for, is to go out and help people. And I actually was surprised because I was in somebody else's stream, and one of the guys from the partnership team DM'd me and was like, "Hey man, congrats on your rapid growth." And I was like, "Word?"
What does that mean? Yeah.
No, like he actually explained it, and he was like,
Okay.
like he basically explained that the subs that I got in my first month were like not normal for Twitch at all, and that felt really good, right? But it's like I like the fact that somebody from Twitch hit me up, but at the same time, it's like a lot of people, since there's no direct talking to people that are not partnered. Since people that aren't partnered don't have a direct contact that they can talk to about it, it's essentially just a larger streamer, and like for all intents and purposes, Tech, me, QMG, right now we could, even Will, like we could be seen as larger streamers, because we have a decent amount of people that we can chat with when we stream. So technically, we can be seen as larger streamers. Like, partnership doesn't necessarily mean you're a larger streamer. Partnership just means that you're doing something that Twitch stands behind. It's like, all right, cool, you get it, let's do it.
It's a proof of concept.
Right.
Right.
And I was salty in the beginning because like people I saw people that like in my head I was like, man, they got way less followers than I do. They don't have as many people in their streams as I do. How they get partnered? But they were doing something literally the opposite side of the spectrum on Earth what I was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like Imperial Girl. I've been subbed to Imperial Girl for 6 months. She sews on stream. Like I saw her make like a Kylo Ren like shirt, like with like the metal bits that like make up the layers into that. She did that with like a silver fabric, but like she was partnered for 6 months, and it's like in my head I was hurt. Part of me was like, why am I not partnered? But then the other side of the spectrum is that like I'm not selling shit. There's a market for that. Like there are groups of people who live in her stream because that's something that's different. That's not the same audience. Everybody can come on here and stream video games. But this platform is growing. This platform is evolving. So what's awesome right now may not be awesome in 6 months.
I mean, Miss Murder hit on the nail. That's why I made the panel, and I think that's why my panel got chosen. I have DJKnight on the panel. I have Unholy Temptress on the panel. I'm on the panel, and they're gonna probably add some bigger streamers. But the thing is like I felt bad because Unholy Temptress is a good friend of mine, and she was like, Frank, I love the idea that you have me on the panel, but I'm not big anymore. Like I don't have the numbers I used to have. I'm like, none of us have the numbers we used to have last week. Yeah. You know, it's a roller coaster, but it's not. People go about it the wrong way as streamers, as new streamers. They want to ask the Cold Carnages. They want to ask the Towleys how you got big. That shit, excuse my French, is not going to work what they did.
Totally
they
different.
Need to be asking us, the struggling, the crawling, the scratching, the bleeding people who lives in their streams day in, day out, worry when you turn off, worry when you turn on. What do I do to make it better for my people, for my viewers? Yep. That's why I made my panel. And that's what it's, hopefully it reaches out to more people. And the response was huge on Twitter. I was very surprised how many people want to see it because they see the people who's doing it and they know we're hungry for it. Yep. And it's not the money at the end of the day, for us, it's the community. You know, it's the presence that we want to bring. It's what we want to show. And I'll never forget my roots. And I'm sure these guys will never forget their roots.
Man, I still remember having 6 people in my stream.
Oh yeah.
No jokes. Like a lot of people like, and that's a valid point that Miss Murder brought up. But it's like
That
for
shit
me, it's
happens to me sometimes now.
Right, it's a real life thing of like I remember having 6 people tops in the stream and thinking that was the shit because it was. For me, like this whole thing is like how many years you been in tech?
Not even 2 years. Oh yeah, it's what's today?
Today's
tomorrow's 2 years.
Damn!
That you've been streaming at all?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. God damn.
Can we get some hype in the chat for them 2 years on DJ Tech real
Can we
life?
get some hype? God damn.
Set anything up for that? Like, what's up?
Hey, like,
No.
Yeah, you like sell some.
I'm
Really?
humble.
Bro,
I'm very humble.
Bro, you ain't gotta be humble to celebrate.
Yeah,
I mean,
for real.
You can be humble and celebrate, man. Go celebrate your 2 years, fam. Do you?
Here's the other side of it. I don't feel like I am where I should be. I don't feel like I'm doing a good enough job.
Time out.
Like,
let me pause you right there, because that's one of the things that I still have to hit myself on. I try my hardest. Like it's less that I try my hardest to be a perfectionist, but I like if I'm not doing 25% more than what I'm doing now, I'm not doing it right. Right. So like if I hit 50, I'm like, all right, I need to be at 75. If I hit 75, damn it, I need to be at 100. So I understand where you're coming from, but you gotta keep that in mind. Like right now, for you to be where you are, think about the day you started.
Yeah.
Think about how amped you would have been to be where you are right now.
Yeah.
And
to tack on that real quick,
Who've been doing it for 5 or 6 years, who have half your daily viewers, half of your actual subscribers, and they're kicking their ass and they're actually doing good work. Think about those guys and girls.
Oh, I do.
A lot of people out there who put in some serious work, who have really high quality stuff, but for one reason or another, it's just not picking up the way that they.
It's hard, man. I mean, I went through a breakdown last week. I'll go ahead and share this with everybody. I went through a serious breakdown. I was considering quitting. I kind of put a little note out there on Twitter. People knew what it was. Cold Carnage picked it up like that. He came and talked to me personally. And I was like, I just don't have it, man. I said, sometimes you gotta come to a realization and know that you're not the one. And Cole was just like, well, A, that's your problem. He was like, he said, B, you just haven't found your moment yet. And then he used Burt Black, which, holy shit, Burt Black.
Yo, he blew up nasty on Total War, man.
And it was inspiring because he's been streaming for I think 3 years now, and he finally got his break. Like, it's nice to see him jump from 200 viewers to 3,000.
Yo, it's glorious to watch that, man.
Yeah, that, because I know that guy really bust his ass to get there.
Yeah,
and I
man.
think what's getting to me is that, yes, my viewers will tell you compare yourself to too many people, Frank, but you almost have to compare yourself. It's the way you go about it.
Right.
They tell me you worry about the numbers too much, Frank, but you have to worry about numbers because that's all that is built on.
Anybody that says that they don't worry about numbers, I don't. I understand people that don't worry about numbers. It's like, oh, I don't care about numbers. I'm just trying to hang out with people. But if there's nobody in your room, you're not hanging out with anybody. You just hang out with yourself. So at some point, you're going to have to consider the numbers. And if you're considering the numbers, don't focus heavy on like I need to be here. Focus on the people that are in your room right.
That's
because those are the people that are getting you there. Like I've been trying to read the chat while we've been talking. It's different to talk. And then like when I'm talking to you guys, it's different than reading the chat. But I'm trying to keep up with the chat just because that's how it works, man. You got to keep up with your chat. Because your chat is your life force if you're streaming. Like for me, I soak so much. I'm already amped in general, right? But I get so amped, feeding the energy from the chat, man. Like
yeah. It's like performing on stage, right? It's like being on stage. Like imagine being there singing or rapping, whatever, doing something on stage, and everybody's just sitting there like.
Right. And I brought that point up. Such a good point. I said to my chat once, because they asked me what's wrong. I said, when I had 400 people in my chat, when I was getting 300 to 400 regularly, but no one talks, I'd rather have 50 extremely chatty people in my chat because to me, they're the important ones. And that interaction keeps me going. Like I could have 1,000 people in the chat. If only like 10 people are chatting, I'm not feeling that 1,000. That 1,000 don't exist to me.
Yep. That might as well be somebody botting you.
Right.
Yeah. It's not to say that we can't have murkers. Just want to come in and be like,
twisted. Don't get it twisted. I am all supportive of lurkers. I try to say that one of my things that I say on the stream on a regular basis is that when it comes down to it, I appreciate you because there are thousands and thousands of streams you could be on, but you're in here.
Yeah.
I don't care if you got 6 tabs up and I'm watching 6 streams. You're here. That's it. That's it.
You're here. You like what?
Right. And it's like, what did I do to earn that? Appreciate you. Good looking out. Excuse me while I go fat real quick. Appreciate you. But no. But when it comes down to it, that's what it's about. You got to be rid of your chat, and to bring it all about. That's why E3 changing is such an epic thing. Because we have these interactions with people that we may never have met in person. We may never meet in person. We got to be realistic about it. It's fully possible that we'll never meet some people in person, but there's the bond that we have on here that is so amazing that you can have.
You stop being a streamer, you start being a friend.
Right, and that's when it comes down to like one of the things that I get is when I get to the point where somebody's in the room like, oh snaps, how you been? Like Prop Danny B just had a kid, and he's in here. It's like, bro, you just had a kid. What are you doing in here? I'm not
Danny B. Oh,
yeah. It's like you just had a kid. Why are you here? But at the same time, it's like I appreciate the fact that you even here because you damn sure didn't have to be here.
Does Danny? You know what Danny does that touches my heart every single time I log off?
He's a beast. That's what he does.
He says thank you for the strum. Like,
dude, that feels so good. It's like what?
Yeah, it blows my mind. And it's after the stream. I'm turned off and everything. I'm hosting whatever. I make it my duty to type to him personally. Thank you for being here because he does not have to. Like, I always ask him, how's the baby? You know, what's going on? How's the wife? What's going on? You know, because the fact that he's in the stream doing his job, and not only my stream, because me and you stream at the same time, DJ, like we overlap. He's in your stream, he's in my stream, he's getting me sounds, he's doing this. I'm like, what is going on? And then my mods got like Isaiah does UFC shit, and he's like worn out, fought, beat up, whatever, comes in, mods, plays games, and I'm just like, I appreciate you guys. Like we all do, and like you guys are the reason why we do this every day. Don't think of it as it's never a money thing. It's all about you.
That humility, that humility. Just Miss Murder just pointed out that humility is such a big deal because you got to be appreciative for anything you get, man. And that's like with Danny, like when I first put my emotes up, he was like, "Hey man, why don't you slide me those emotes? Me and Trial clean them up for you real quick." And I was like, "Okay." And then he was like, "Look, I know you may have a thing where you're used to doing this on your own, but you don't have to do that anymore."
That's the hardest part. That's the hardest part, that you're like figuring out, okay, how much control can I give somebody, and when do I rely on my community? And a lot of people fall flat on their face in that situation where they feel like they have to do everything themselves. And I remember watching a panel with Day 9 where he just talked about how his community was grown over time organically, and he just fed into his community to help him build it. Artists, graphic artists, websites, like he just fed off of that, and it was just a revolving door, or like an ecosystem that he can just rely on to continue to grow. Like hell, in my case, I mean, I have a mod here that's my roommate now that we met on Twitch 3 years ago.
That's so dope.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? Like there's people that are in my community that I've known for extended periods of times that I consider them like brothers, because they've been there from like me struggling with 20 people to being huge, right? And that's just like that loyalty, that aspect of bringing people together and just sharing each other's lives every day. It's I had to talk with somebody about this the other day, where relationships that you have with the people online are accelerated because you're spending 18, 20 hours a day, sometimes, you know, every single day with them, that you start to just create a bond with them that's even, you know, more accentuated and more complex than you would with just somebody that you went to school with. And that's the sense of community. That's the camaraderie that's so great about Twitch, that a lot of people take for granted because they throw numbers into the mix and they throw money into the mix. And I think that's the real reason why Twitch is so popular and so now and in tune with today's, you know, community and today's generation, is because somebody that's sick, that's in the bed, you know, that can't get out of bed, can connect with hundreds of people and actually feel like they're a part of something.
I'm totally with you on that, man. Like one of my best friends ever, actually, I met through gaming. I met him in 2006. We were playing Rainbow Six Las Vegas. Shout out to that game.
Oh, Vegas was flames.
Oh, that's so good. That's so good.
But I was playing Resistance, was playing a couple other games, but me and him formed a bond that I don't have with a lot of other like people that I met in person in high school or even in college. Like me and him went through so many different things, and we would offer advice to each other. Like we got each other's phone numbers, so we start texting each other while we're in classroom. And then like dude just got married. He invited me to his wedding in Virginia. Like anytime I'm streaming, like he's extremely supportive. Like I convinced him and kind of got him into being in the gaming industry in one way or another. He's making like videos every once in a while. He's like on the whole BlackOni collective team, but he comes into my streams as much as he can. He has a kid now. He's married. Like he doesn't have time to be in my stream, but he still comes anyway. Like it's amazing what kind of camaraderie you can form.
Oh man, yeah, I got people that stay sub, like that sub to me for 15 months sub to me, and they can't come in my stream due to work, real life, but they always come back to hit that damn button and say, "Oh man, I'm sorry I'm not here, but I still support you." Like that jump broke me down one day on stream. I was just having a real bad week. I was not talking to anybody about it because I try to keep the stream out of my personal life and stuff. But man, seeing people like talk to me on Discord and the mods try to get with you, the people that aren't mods checking up on you, asking how your day went, they do more than people do in my, I hate saying real life because this is all real life, but you know what I mean? Out in the world outside of the internet. That right there alone keeps me streaming, because if I didn't have that, I would have been done a long time ago.
Yeah.
You know, like the community makes the stream. Mods help build that community, and the host is really, I want to say, the smallest part, because the community, it really takes care of your stream. I could go into a stream right now. If the community sucks, the chat sucks, I'm not watching, bro. I don't care how you are. Lyric arguably is one of the best streamers numbers wise, but there's no connection with his chat. I don't feel no connection there. I know Lyric. I watch him here and there, but I don't. But Code Carnage, I watch his stream almost every day. I check in with his stream. Why? Because that community. I go in there, like 20 people, 20 to 35 people are sitting there saying, "Hey, DJ Tech, how you doing? How you doing?" Like,
bro, I drop a Cole High in there, and it's a wall of people like, "What up, DJ? How you doing?"
Yeah,
and
it's crazy.
Half the time, Cole, DJTechLive. It's like, oh shit, Cole just saw me. So I'm like, oh, what's up? What's going on, man? How you doing? So it's like that is the kind of thing that gets me in, and what makes me feel good is that I have people that come in and do that for me. Like last night, somebody came in and was like, and like first time there, I was like, bro, I'm subbing to you first chance I get, and I'm like, bro, you ain't got to sub for shit. Like you ain't got to give me no money. And he was like, nah, man, I got in here and like within 2 minutes, the whole chat was like, it's a pleasure to have you. Like I was welcomed. I felt like I was already a part of the community. So like, nah, man, I got to. And I'm not gonna deny such a thing. But it's like that's the kind of thing that I feel like this platform is made for.
Yes.
It's made for us that want to be a part of a community and will continue to be a part of it. Like that is a big deal. And then that's why I'm stoked to be on the panel, man. Like the fact that you're emailing DJ Wheat, that's big boy shit. Like I'm gonna be like you when I grow up. Like
You're already bigger, bro.
Man,
But you see, like even Lyric struggled with that. 2 years ago, I specifically remember, or vividly remember, a time when he was reaching that, he was at that 4,000 and peaking 8,000, and he was like, I just can't handle my chat anymore.
Yeah.
Because there's just so many people, even in slow mode. It's just, you start to, there's comes a point in every Twitch's broadcaster's career where you have to kind of decide, am I going to become an entity or am I going to stick to being a community? Because right now, Summit, Lyric, Soda Poppin', they're not a community.
I don't know, man. I think Summit talks to his chat more than any.
No, but that, like, it's not really saying that he doesn't talk to his chat. It's just that there's so many people that you're not really sitting there and you're like, all right, this is a community environment. I don't like,
right.
I don't know the person I'm talking to right now, but I'm still bullshitting with them and dropping a bunch of Bible thumbs. But you know, at the end of the day, like you can't really, it just gets too big to handle.
Well, that brings us to our next topic. Honestly, is the hard decisions. We can actually.
I was about to do that because that was a perfect segue. Because like I felt it a second ago, and I was like, all right, this is deep. This is leads right into it. So nicely done.
Very good, QMGSaint, man. You're regular, brother.
There we go. I got it.
So speaking of hard decisions, what was the hardest decision you've ever had to make? And how did you get past that? So we'll start with Will, because Will's been really quiet today.
Yeah, Will.
So get in there, Will. Get in there, Will.
Not only has he been quiet, his bed was made. Oh my god.
All right, see, I was hoping nobody was gonna pick that out, but that seemed to have been the case. Man,
due to the girl, because your room is spotless. Spotless. Eddie Murphy have to talk to you real quick. What happened to that girl? Do you need that girl, or does that room just do it? You a beautiful.
I'm blushing.
All right, back to top side.
I guess.
Can you talk like that for the rest of the cast?
I can try. I can absolutely try.
Hercules.
Oh my God, that's a beautiful thing.
So
Four
pretty,
brown
just so
people
pretty,
get together.
just so pretty.
He's just a lot of gritty in the brown, but he's still pretty.
It's just so good.
All right, let's get. I'm sorry. I'm back to the top.
All right.
Oh man.
All right. So Will, what you got, man?
The hardest decision I've ever made. There's obviously I can speak for anybody in this scenario. Like there's so many hard decisions that happen throughout the day. There are some decisions that are really easy decisions that are made hard because you make them harder decisions than they need to be. It doesn't happen that often to me because like I usually use my common sense like this is really a simple thing. Probably if I'm using the top of my head, is going to college out of state in Elmira, New York. I was originally going to go stay in state. I was going to go to school for animation. I really had a hard time deciding what I was going to do. I knew that art making was a big part of my life and what I wanted to do moving forward in one way or another. But I didn't know if I wanted that to be like a major. Like all throughout your life, really, people keep telling you that you can't make a career out of art, or you're just going to be like a broke artist living in your mom's basement. For the record, my mom doesn't have a basement, so. And
so do you have something? Let's handle this right now. My mama got a basement, son.
But
damn it, I thought that was muted.
Oh my God.
Appreciate you, man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, exactly. But that was the hardest decision. It was moving there and deciding that I was going to pursue an art degree. And I'm happy that I did it. It was a decision that made sense. Like I actually went to school, and my major in school was art, and then the concentration with painting. And even throughout that process, there were several other hard decisions. Like, well, what do I concentrate on? Do I concentrate on drawing, on illustration? Do I concentrate on digital imaging? Do I concentrate on sculpture? Like, I explored all those things, but that all culminated from the first step, which was, do I do animation and only stick to this one thing at this school, or do I go out of state and pursue something a little bit different? I even thought about being a psychologist. I'm really glad I didn't do that. But yeah, that's what's coming to my mind right now. Is like the biggest decision, hardest one.
That's what's up. Next up, Frank, give it up. Hardest decision.
I'll do it. This is a recent one. It has to do with streaming. I had to make a decision if I wanted to stay a 100% MMO streamer or if I wanted to break into variety. I noticed numbers were huge. I got sick of running the hype train. So MMOs are definitely hype trains. If you want something that's going to give you a lot of numbers and then drop down to hardly nothing, go for MMOs. But it was a hard decision because I talked to everybody about it. I got my community involved. I didn't just make it. I asked their decisions. I talked to other streamers. I talked to my mentors. I went on Twitter and announced it. And I couldn't make the decision myself, but I told myself that, MMOs are pretty much dying. It was a dying breed in the market, especially Western. Everything's more Eastern, which means it'll be hyped and it'll die off. After Black Desert, my numbers skyrocketed in Black Desert. I got up to 500 viewers. I was getting 300 to 500 daily, and I thought it was my break. Everybody was like, this channel's going amazingly. We're finally hitting that thing, Frank, and then it just dropped. And then everybody was like, Ring Man coming to a realization, what are you going to do? And I said, I'm going to go variety. And they were like, are you sure? But I knew that it's going to be a rebuilding of the stream. It's going to be like day one. And, the first day I did it, I got like 150 views. That's not a bad drop. And then the drop started happening. The drop is still happening. So the decision is to stick with it, keep going with streaming, quit. So it's a reality check on yourself, how strong you are as an individual person, how much you believe in your community and your mods and other people, when to lean on people, when not to lean on people, when to believe that you have to have help and not do everything yourself. Those are all hard decisions to make, especially when you're in this business. And it goes in real life too. It deals with depression. It deals with streaming is probably the hardest job anybody can have. It is the mental stress and the mental exhaustion that you have, I think trumps any job there is. I put it on the lines of presidency, right? President went in brown hair, coming out gray. Same thing with streaming. So the hardest decision is stick with it. And I decided to stick with it, go through the numbers, and hopefully find a way to become that community that it once was, but built on the right thing instead of hype. But the support system is unreal, and I couldn't do without it. So any hard decisions you got to make in life, don't be afraid to ask people's advice, because we are too proud of people to keep it to ourselves, and we ruin ourselves.
Yo, I'm before we go on to QMG, I'm gonna add on a bit to that. Don't be afraid to ask. You don't even have to qualify the rest of that. Don't be afraid to ask, because one of my biggest issues that I ever had in life is asking for assistance or asking for help or asking for this or asking for that. I have a huge issue with it. I have no idea how to properly do it most of the time, because I don't. Like, my girl has hit me up many times, and I've done things this year with streaming that if it wasn't for my girl saying, hey, you should try this, I wouldn't have done, because I don't like asking for anything, like, at all. That's a huge hurdle that I gotta get over. But I'm gonna shut up. QMG.
I'll actually add on to that too. Like, I would say don't be afraid to fail.
Yeah.
Like 100%.
Oh, yeah.
This isn't like, I say this again, this isn't a science. People have tried to find their niche on Twitch. They've tried multiple games. They've tried different styles of streaming, community, professional, comedy, whatever it is, right? But you have to go out there and put yourself out there first and foremost as a broadcaster. Like, you have to. Like, if you're not true to yourself, you're going to come off as fake. You're going to come off as just a gimmick. And while gimmicks are fine in this industry, they make a lot of people, great communities. Future Man has a great community.
I swear, man, we think too much alike.
But at the end of the day, like, you can't be scared to just go do it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But I would say my biggest or the hardest decision that I had to make, and I'm just going to keep it to streaming, obviously, that's probably the easiest thing to relate to, was 3 years ago when I graduated, because my stream started very late nights. I was streaming at 2 a.m. to about 6 a.m. because I was going to school full time. I would get off around midnight. and I was averaging about 800 people at that time, and I was graduating, and I was like, all right, I got $100,000 piece of paper that says I can do this damn thing, and then I have the channel. I decided to, you know, obviously at that time, nobody knew what the hell Twitch was. Family was like, yo, you better go use that degree. You paid a lot of money for it. I decided to go out to California, put the channel on hold, right? And that was the hardest decision I had to make because I saw the potential in Twitch 3 years ago, right? We're talking about my channel blew up on War Z, unfortunately. At that time, War Z was a stigmata in the gaming community because it was a DayZ clone, it was vaporware, whatever it was. But regardless of that, because of the bad press, there's no such thing as bad press in this industry. People came and watched my channel, and I got partnered in a month because of it. And that helped get me skyrocketed to that point, right? But because of me deciding to go ahead and go to college or finish college and go to California to pursue this career, my channel obviously died at that point, and it was a big wake-up call because that's another thing that I would say is do not let other people's opinions or perspectives on what you're doing on Twitch influence your decisions on what you do in this industry.
Never let anybody else get in.
Such good word.
I just gotta pop
No,
that
that
in there.
was-
Like, never, bro. Never let somebody else
Yep.
tell you what to do with your shit.
Right.
And obviously, you know, being as young as you are, you're just getting out of college. This is a new industry. It's so, you know, like I said, volatile. There's no guarantee. And then obviously you have a degree. You're like, okay, well, I'm going to go the safe route. But is it really the safe route, right? Because you never know what you're going to make of it. So that was probably the hardest one for me was because like back then, dude, I used to raid Summit. Summit was just coming into War Z. He was
I remember when you were bigger.
300 viewers.
Yeah.
Like, he's my boy. Summit's my boy to the day I die. Like, we're brothers. I have his cell phone number right here. I can call him a big head right now if I want. But, you know, and that's just, it's great to see that growth in all your peers. And that's what part of the reason why I do what I do now, because I understand that. I understand that there's peaks and valleys. And just like you with you, DJ, is like, you know, just because right now it's pretty low doesn't mean it's always going to be that way, because you're always going to have those peaks and valleys on Twitch, right? You just got to really find that moment to just jump back up there. And obviously it comes down to endurance and stamina and how long you want to actually continue the grind.
That sounds kind of like sex. I fail at that.
Yeah.
Mama, let me go.
But no, you man. Like, if you guys had to take anything from this podcast, I mean, listen to him because he's been in the game for a long time. I remember I used to work in QMGSaint's channel. Was much bigger, but he was definitely a name that was thrown around by bigger streamers in the past, and he was always there in the mix. It's kind of like I didn't even know who said it was.
Heads up, we gotta take a quick break. So I'm gonna slide it over, take a smooth break, and then we're gonna come back shortly. Sorry guys, be back in a minute.
Oh, I got you. All right, put some music on.
All right, fam. We are coming back from the break here with the Chocolate Thunder. Sorry about the delay, but we're good to go. And you gentlemen are now unmuted. Sorry about that. And then we slide it back in. Like so. It's nice, isn't it? Ain't it?
Sliding there real nice, like.
It's nice like this, isn't it? But we were in the middle of discussing the biggest
Hard decisions.
The
You're
biggest
next.
hard decisions. I know. I ain't forgot. Nah, man. One of my hardest decisions really was to stream in the first place. But that was like a really tough one. But like I think one of the things that got me was, do I want to continue? And I asked myself that a reasonable amount of times before I made that choice. Like I feel like I want to at some point do this full time because I love entertaining. And this is probably the most direct usage of entertaining people that I have outside of doing stand-up. Like I did stand-up once and I actually had a really good like reception. So that felt pretty good that I like on my first attempt, it was the improv night. And my first attempt, it was like, all right, let me see if I can't do this. And I got a lot of laughs. That felt pretty good. But this is a more regular thing where it's like I feel like I'm relaxing and still being entertaining, and it works for me. Like I'm overjoyed when people are like, dude, I enjoy hanging out in the stream. This is an awesome place to be. So to even get into it in the first place was tough. Like I started like when the PS4 launched. Like I streamed when the PS4 launched. I was streaming Blacklight Revolution. I was streaming like all the launch games. I was that dude for like a week, and then like real life work hit me, and I couldn't afford to keep streaming because I didn't have enough time to set aside to stream. So a good buddy of mine was like, "Hey, like back early January last year, he's like, bro, you need to be streaming," and I was like, I don't know what you're talking about. He was like, I was like, I've streamed before. It was not that big a deal. He was like, no, seriously, you need to stream and stream on a regular basis. I've been streaming and I love it, but your personality, you would be great at it. I would watch your streams if you stream, so you need to do it. And I started and I lucked out and got a couple situations that kind of like pushed me along. And those were the reasons that I kept streaming. Like I got like I told you guys, I had a website. So the website, I got the community manager for Neverwinter, the MMO, and I was like, hey, I want to stream this on Xbox One when it comes out. He was like, boom, here, have the code, enjoy it. And I streamed it, and I went from 32 followers to 580 in a night.
What?
Yeah, a night. Like I didn't know what to say to that, and it was ridiculous. So I was like, all right, obviously I'm doing something right if that many people are caring about my content, because I only had it for 6 hours before it launched and people were still watching. So I was like, all right, if people enjoy watching me to the point where that many people would follow me in the night, well then maybe I should just keep going. And then luckily my website is what got me to where I am at this point, because if it wasn't for my website, I wouldn't have been able to get like Witcher 3 early. And I was able to like Witcher 3. I was playing Witcher 3 at launch, like the Sunday before it came out, and they were like, "Bro, play." And I was like, "Word." I was on the sticks. Rocket League, the beginnings of Rocket League, like when it was on. Yeah, that's my cat.
Oh, I thought somebody was smuggling kids.
No, man, but when Rocket League launched, when Rocket League was in beta and it was still being like really balanced. I was lucky enough to be streaming it then, and then like I just was streaming a ton of it, and then someone was like, "Bro, where's your computer? Oh, you stream on this PS4 and Xbox One?" And I was like, "I got a computer, but it's garbage." And I lucked out and had a buddy of mine send me a NVIDIA 980 GTX 980 Ti, and then the Acer XB270HU. And if you know monitors, that's a glorious fucking monitor. It still costs like $600, so I'm still blown away to have the luck that I've had. But it's like I say this to my girl, and she's like, "No, that's not luck, because that is a direct connection to all the 8-9 years you put in with your website. So you can't disavow knowledge of that." So for me, like in the beginning, really streaming was a thing where I didn't know whether or not I wanted to do it, and I started to do it, and then good things started to happen. When I played Rocket League with that video card that my buddy sent me, like somebody else was like, here, take these tips and go get a new processor and motherboard. And I got a new processor and motherboard, and then War of the Warships came out in the alpha, and they were like, hey, once you play it, if you win, if you're one of the top streamers of streaming War of the Warships, we will send you out to TwitchCon, the first TwitchCon. And I was like, yeah, let me try this then. And I was one of the top 10 people to win the Sail to TwitchCon contest from War of the Warships. So the entire time I was having a lot of financial issues. I was having a lot of issues with everything. Like I was having a lot of issues with work. I was having a lot of issues with like depression. I really don't tell people that I've had issues with depression, mostly because nobody give a damn.
I care.
You say this with a smirk on your face, but
well, I
and
want
massaging
you
your chest like I care, yeah.
but
it's like, but not like I've had a lot of like issues with myself. I had a lot of issues with if I wanted to stream. I had a lot of issues with finances. Like I almost lost my car. Like like it was a lot of different stuff that I've been going through, and I was like, you know what? This is the one thing that I found that I enjoy. So damn it, I'm gonna keep at it. And then like that's when all the good things, like every time I started to get hit with a doubt, something good came along. Every time I started to think, man, maybe this is not for me, then here, have this, upgrade your computer. And it was like, all right, maybe this is still not, maybe I'm still not doing something right. No, here, how about you won this contest to where we're gonna send you to TwitchCon and you don't have to pay nothing. All right, maybe this is not for me. Like, well, how about we're gonna get you situated over Christmas to give you more people to pay attention to you. And it was like, well, damn, maybe this is all right. So maybe I am doing something right. Maybe I should keep doing this. And then I went to go to the South, and my girl was like, you don't ask your community for anything. Maybe if you want to let them know that you're going to do things for the stream, maybe you should ask them to help you get there. And I did, and they got me there, and I got there. And then like I just made a lot of new connections. I met a lot of new people, and just every time that I've doubted myself, every time that I feel like, all right, maybe I should hang it up because I ain't shit, ain't nobody gonna pay attention to me, something else epic happens, and it's just like, nah, bro, you're good. And
I see you did that. Something epic happened.
Especially like that when you're reaching out to your community to send you out to a convention, right? It's one of those things where I've always taken, when I was going to PAX and everything for my stream or my broadcast to further expand my network or whatever, you know, you take it upon yourself and you're like, yo, I'm doing this for them. Like, I'm coming out here, I'm making connections, I'm trying to bring them new opportunities, new things to give away, to give back to them because they believed in me to come out there, you know? And it's one of those things where I feel like there's a lot of broadcasters that take that for granted when they go to conventions, where they think it's just a time to kind of get pitched drunk and just have a good time. We're fine if that's what you're doing.
I'm working,
you know, but you should have an agenda going to every single convention.
Working at conventions. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but like I'm working at conventions, man. Like, and that's what's funny is that when I went to Sail to TwitchCon, everybody else that was at Sail to TwitchCon was like, we saw DJ, and then he disappeared. And he was shaking somebody's hand, and then he came back and he was with us again. But that, for me, that's what these conventions are about. You're supposed to meet people. You're supposed to branch out. You're supposed to find different things that you may not know about and do that. Like, and Plastic Savior makes a valid point. Like, I got community spotlight for one for World of Star Citizen. That was a huge thing for me. Like, I didn't even know that was happening until it happened. It was just like, it's just like these things just they piled up, and they were like, nah, bro, you do you.
Yeah, like 2013, I was on the partner spotlight on the Twitch stage.
Right.
That shit didn't happen because it was an accident. That's because you learn, you grind. You know, you may not be the biggest channel on Twitch, but trust me, Twitch knows when you're grinding, and they know when you're trying to make it work. You know, they see the drive.
Bro, and that's the thing that I've been starting to notice is that like when you're small, it's really hard to think that anybody's paying attention.
Well, I think the thing that I finally came to terms with, and this kind of came to light to me during this podcast, is we shouldn't call ourselves small because we're big to the community. We might be small with the numbers, we might be small to the big fish, but community-wise, I think we get a little bit more respect
Oh no, I'm not even referring to
No,
right
no,
now.
I'm talking
I'm
about.
with you. I feel you. You make a valid point. Like we're.
I'm talking about overall, like
Yeah.
in my eyes, because I always consider myself. Everyone's like, "Oh my god, I want to get advice from a big streamer." I'm like, "Yo, I'm not big." They were like, "But you have like 24,000 people following you." Hello. And I'm just like, that ain't big, you know. But that's
But that's the
24,000.
point. When you're talking about
Yeah.
like just that number right there, when you say 24,000 people following you, that means 24,000 people saw your content and thought that, all right, cool, I'm gonna hang out with this guy. And you may be talking to somebody who has 24. So
Or just 2.
right in comparison, that's huge. So I completely can understand that. So I'm with you. We're not exactly small. Like I can't claim to be small now, but the issue that a lot of people have is that when they're making that climb from 0 to 1,000, you could hustle all day, but you still got to make your spot. You still got to make your spot. So you still got to keep hustling.
Oh yeah, even
Right,
when
like,
you get there.
Bro, like when I got my, even though I got like I went from 32 to 580 in a night, but like the grind to 1,000 was arduous. That took me another couple months to get.
Oh, you
to
just wait till you
1,000.
get to 20s. Holy, good God.
I had that feeling, but it's like, but that's what it happens. Like you
Yeah.
have to hustle. If you're gonna hustle, then keep hustling. Don't stop hustling. Don't sleep. I'm getting a tip. I thought I had like all my music off.
Could we split this among all
Oh.
4 podcasters? Equally?
What's going on?
May the power of Christ compel you.
Right?
I was like, Mason.
I'm not gonna
For real,
go
throw some holy water on that motherfucker.
I appreciate it, but it's like I don't know how to like turn it off. Like I'm trying. I don't want it to like interrupt everything. That's why I was like I have to like change something. But thank you.
Well, here's the
Although-
crazy thing too is that like you think to yourself at some point like, man, like I don't feel like doing this. Like nobody's gonna be watching. Like why would I start doing this?
Nah.
And here's the thing, man. Like if it wasn't for, I got to give a shout out again to Andy because I met him during a very like interesting pivotal part of both of our careers and our respective things that we're doing right now. And he was like, bro, you need to be streaming. I'm like, I mean, I'm doing the YouTube thing. Like, why should I be streaming? Like, no one wants to like sit there and just like watch raw gameplay of me just like dicking around. He was like, bro, you need to start streaming. And so we did a live stream for Extra Life. That was like the first time I really did any real live stream. It was me, him, and a couple of other people chilling at his place, and we were live streaming. So that was like my first foray into live streaming. But it's crazy when you think about, you know, you have this in your mind, in your head. Nobody's watching. Nobody wants to see this. Nobody wants to you know spend their time on a small channel. But people out there, some people prefer small channels. You know, some people prefer to witness growth over time. Some people prefer to be able to
A
just.
lot of people prefer that. You'd be surprised. I've actually had people
Yeah.
that stopped coming to my stream.
Mm.
They were like, "You got too big, man," and it's
Yeah.
like, I try to
Sucks.
see every line of chat. I like to read every line of chat whenever possible. If I'm playing a game that has me mentally focused, then I'm gonna miss it. But like other than that,
Can't do it.
right? Like you cannot watch all your chat in Overwatch. Like it's impossible. But like that doesn't stop me from trying, right? So like it was funny because somebody was like, "Nah, man, I would love to come to your channel, but you're too big, man." It's like I'm confused. I was like, "I'm not even. What are you talking about?" And it's like, "Nah, man, I appreciate you though." And then I haven't seen him since, but it's like that's some people like really prefer like a tiny stream. And it's not even say tiny. It's like somebody just prefers somebody to have a focus on them, and there's nothing wrong with that. It's just if you get too big, they're out. But that just falls into there's different personalities for different people, right? So
I want to like make a quick disclaimer on this though. Like this whole topic, like we've been talking about like growing and being bigger on Twitch and just, you know, continuing to go up. One thing I want to say to everybody is like, if you just streaming just to have fun and just for the community aspect, and you're not really looking for anything else but that, that's totally fine. Like Twitch as a platform is there for you to do what you want with it.
Yep.
Like what we're talking about is actually aspiring to become more of a career. And that's totally fine too. But just it's okay to just sit there and just have fun with it and just treat it as that. Don't feel obliged just because, you know, and that's a lot of times what happens is your peers start to get bigger and it's like competition at that point where you're like, shit, he's growing, he's blowing up. What am I doing wrong? And then your whole mindset gets skewed and your perspectives get skewed and everything that you started your channel about goes out the window in a heartbeat. And it's sometimes a lot of people lose sight of that and it's hard to catch themselves. So just remember, like, do that. Remember what you started streaming for and kind of like write that shit down on your mirror. Like, yo, somebody told me the best information when I was going to college. They were like, put your goals up on the mirror where you get ready every day so that you can always look at them every single morning. And if that's what you need to do to kind of just stay focused, do it, you know, but don't let everybody else's success or outside influences kind of steer you away from what your goals are as a broadcaster. And they're going to be different for everybody, right? Everybody that I've talked to in the industry, every streamer that's come to me for advice, every person that was my friend that I've talked to, I always tell them one thing. I say, your success is not defined by the numbers, right? It's not a value. You can't put a value to your success. My success and my perception of success on my stream can be completely different than what you think is for your channel, right? And that's totally fine. I can be happy with the 20-something thousand followers I have and the things I've done in my career and move into PR. And that's totally fine. Don't treat that as a fail. Just like if Tech left tomorrow and the things he's done for his 2 years, that's what he's done and he's happy with that. He's content. So that's just like a public service announcement to everybody that's trying to grind on Twitch. Like, just be happy with what you consider success at the end of the day.
True. That is some deep shit. And just to kind of
drop it like
balls deep.
Balls deep. But no, like if you were aiming to do things as a streamer, like, go do it. Then that's really what it comes down to. Do it. Don't give a shit about, like, in the beginning, I really would tell people, don't worry about growth in the beginning. Worry about doing it. Worry about honing your craft. Like, if you didn't get a follow on the first day, there might have been a reason for that. Go back, watch your VODs, see what you can improve. Like, I've watched plenty of my VODs and I've done plenty of work to, like, all right, man, that was dumb. I'll never do that again. Like, learn. It's a learning, just like everything else you do. Like, if you do 10,000 hours of something, you're a pro at it. If you do 10 hours of something, you're just starting out. Like, keep doing it, keep practicing, keep working. And in my opinion, I feel like that's how I feel like on real life, is that no matter what you do, keep working at it and you'll get better. That's it.
Yeah.
You'll get better.
Another thing too is just keep looking at ways you can make yourself better in general anyway, because some people can just keep doing the same thing over and over again. That's kind of like the very definition of insanity, right? It's just like doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Like, a big part of it is also knowing that there's always things you can further improve on as you're continuing on your journey, not even just in streaming, but in life too.
All right, so I think that's a smooth, because like I feel like we're talking like old people, right? Like old man, like your grandma when you got a question.
Back in my day.
Back in my day. Since we talking about
my balls hair curled, they didn't
cassette players instead of MP3.
Since we talking about back in the day, we talking about back in the day being a Wednesday, if we're going back that far. But what you guys been up to this last week? So, Will, kick it off. What you been up to this last week, man?
Oh fuck, man.
Oh,
I've been up to a lot, man. Many people who have been watching my streams lately know that, like, I'm only scheduled to be streaming like 3 days a week, but depending on the week, depending on what's going on, I have to do a little bit more than that. I mean, I don't have to, but like, since I do like digital art, either commissioned or I'm working on projects for a small company, or I'm doing like personal projects, I like to just jump on stream and do some stuff. So I just finished, what the hell did I just do earlier this week? I'm working on a digital painting of Quiet right now. That's been taking up a lot of my time. I just recently finished Storm last week, and then like a couple weeks before that, I did Black Panther, and I did some time lapse that people can see on YouTube of the creation and all that good stuff. So that's mainly what I've been working on. Work has been kicking my ass. I've been getting home and taking naps a lot.
That's the true sound of an old man. Like, I'm gonna go sit on this couch for a minute.
Bro, like every time I can't lay down when I get home. Like, absolutely cannot do it, or else it's just done. It's over. But I also, I've been rocking out with Dark Souls and like recently Uncharted. But Dark Souls, man, I just fought this boss, the Nameless King. don't do it to yourself. just the people who's from my stream who's watching that in there right now, you know, it was hype though. There's mad people in the stream. They was cheering me on. It was a really good feeling. But it sucked.
All right, Frank, what you got, man? What you been up to this week?
Oh man, all let's talk about variety. I went back to MMO.
I saw that too.
I wasn't gonna say nothing. I wasn't gonna say nothing.
I'm addicted to Final Fantasy 14 right now, man.
I saw that.
You know that variety includes MMOs, man. You straight.
Oh, I know. But I can see. I used to do MMOs all the time. Now I'm down to 2 MMOs, and it's just WoW and Final Fantasy, and it's perfect because WoW is Legion's coming out soon. Final Fantasy's there to fill the gaps, and I'm still gonna play both of them. Overwatch is my baby, of course, but Final Fantasy, man, like. The community, again, just like when I watch streams are going for community, that community in Final Fantasy paid for mine and Katie's Heaven's Ward, like the expansion. Who does that? They paid for it. I was like, I'll get myself the collector. She ain't getting it. They were like, no. Get her the collector's edition. So that community has welcomed us in with open arms, and they have been nothing but help. They're exciting. You know, I may only get like anywhere, I think like around 80 viewers by playing that, but man, they're the best people ever. Like, I love you, old people, you know, but in my eyes, these people just take the cake. Like, if you ever want to jump into an MMO and feel welcome, Final Fantasy 14's community is so tight. It's
Bro, I love 14. 14 is schmexy. Like, the only reason I don't play 14 is because my issue with MMOs is that I can't guarantee that I'll stick with many games for very long. And the more I stick with one game, the less I play of the others. Right? So if I get into something like 14, if I'm getting into 14, I'm probably going to be in the 14 for like 6 months.
It's hard being a
That's a constant problem.
Yeah.
Right.
It's super hard. But I don't look at Mr. Happy. Like, I always like, what is he drinking? Because there's no way in hell somebody can sit here and play Final Fantasy all day and then enjoy it. But like, when I got into it, like really gave it a chance and saw what they did, though, even Mr. Happy reached out to me. He's like, we need anything, I'll be there for you. I'm like, what? Like, they don't do this. And he just hit 1,000 subs. And that's what blows my mind is he hit 1,000 subs. He gets around like 250, 300 viewers a day, 1,000 subs. So something's right. The community loves them. So yeah, I love Final Fantasy, man. It is deep. It's hard for me not to play it. My girl's here for like 5 days, and man, that Final Fantasy, right? But anyway, that's what I've been up to. That and Overwatch, of course. Other than that, just been planning on, making a better connection with my stream and planning for the future cons. This panel thing is actually bigger than I thought. So they're asking for a lot of stuff with that. So I'm getting everything ready. Other than that, man, just trying to make a deeper connection with streamers like me, like you, and QMGSaint, everybody, and trying to get us some more of a presence on Twitch is my late game mission. Yeah. So a lot of things I'm going to be talking to you guys about in the near future to try to get something going. Because I got to stop blaming Twitch. We got to start blaming ourselves. It's our duty to like really formulate and make a presence. So
I just figured that I've always taken it as that. Like, a lot of people will say, oh, so-and-so's, it's the company's fault that I'm not bigger. And it's like, no matter where that's aimed at, no matter who says it, like that's like to say it's so-and-so's fault that I'm not getting something. That literally just told you what the source was. For me, I feel like if I'm not engaging my audience, I don't deserve follows. Yeah. It's all about me engaging my audience. If I'm not engaging my audience, if I'm not giving people the reason to tune into my stream every day, if I'm not giving people the reason to hit that follow button, that's my fault. Maybe I need to change something up. So like I generally will. I'm one of the people that I'll keep track of my follow averages over like course of a couple weeks. Like if I see a dip or if I see a change, then all right, cool. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. We'll see. Or if I'm seeing a dip in the viewer counts, like outside of the fact that it's summer and then everybody's gonna have less subs for the summer, right? That there's nothing you can do to get around that. That's just gonna happen. But I'm all about personal acceptance and responsibility. Like, this is my stream. I chose to stream. I can't expect that anybody else will grow my stream for me. That's all on me. So like, I don't know. That's just my opinion of like people saying, "Oh, I blame you for this." It's like, no, screw blame. It's like, this is my fault. If there's anybody to blame, it's me. Maybe I chose the wrong game. Maybe I chose the wrong time to stream. Maybe there's a lot of different factors that we have control over. That we can adjust to make changes if we feel like something isn't going the way we want it to. So at least that's my opinion on it. I could be wrong.
Yeah, I feel like as long as I've had a couple people say to me before, I'm surprised you're not bigger. As long as people are saying shit like that to me, like I'm happy.
Yep.
Like all right, if you feel like quality is high enough for you to feel like it should be higher, then I'm gonna keep doing my thing.
Right.
It's better than I'm saying, how the hell you got here?
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
And then I steal lines from the old lady in which one of those commercials? One's like a Starbucks
Betty
commercial.
White?
Or something. It's like, if you love it, tell your friends. It's like, yeah, if you love it, tell your friends. Real life.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't tell them. But no, I think that's a fantastic way to get into. Like I haven't said much about what I'm doing. QMG, did you really go into what you were doing this last week? Because we went on a huge
Yeah, we are all
tangent there.
Well, man, mostly I was doing things in the PR world, and just kind of getting everything situated. It's pretty crazy. Con season started, so we got E3, we got RTX, we got San Diego Comic-Con, we got Gamescom, we got TwitchCon, PAX Prime, like all that to prep for. So that's been pretty crazy. Beyond that, just from a gaming perspective, I mean, when I started Black Desert in February, I didn't have a beard.
That's just a job, man. I'm laughing because
So
I was dirty, man. I was dirty.
I'm feeling it right now, bro. That burnout is crazy to the point that I wanted to reevaluate my whole life. I'm like, yo, how am I gonna do this, man? But nah, I've pretty much kind of taken a relaxed approach to Black Desert, and kind of picked up different games like Overwatch. I went back and did some Guild Wars 2. I'm actually really enjoying it right now.
Guild Wars 2 is flames, man.
The new raid's coming out, so that's pretty tight. And just playing variety stuff. Like when I get a chance, I've been doing a lot of community building. One of the major things that I've always kind of tried to steer away from is when you're building your community, like on Discord, it's so hard to get people to be there for other people when you're not there. Right? Because they want to follow the broadcaster. So one of the biggest things that I've had issues with growing my community is when I'm offline, who's still around, right? Yeah, you're going to have your core group, but you want to grow that. And so the last 2 weeks have been me pretty much trying to get engaged in the community and help grow that so that that's still there for whenever I come back to broadcasting, or like, let's say tomorrow I kick up my stream because I have time, you have people that are still there.
Right.
And so that's one of the things that I would say is another thing to help is like, engage with your folks offline, man.
Yeah.
They want to chill with you. They want to have, they're there for you,
That's true indeed.
So, and besides that, like we have, and I'm pretty big into MMOs. So you guys, you're hearing all the MMO stuff. Like Arcade 3.0 is going to be announced next month.
Oh wow.
We got,
they oh man, I was in the arcade in the way back, but then they had like the little system of like, here you got to do these two things, or like, and then you can come back in like a day, and like just the way that they had that system set up, I was like, screw this game.
They're repairing it, man. I went back for a little bit and I was kind of surprised. So just to see where they're going, they're getting further away from. All pay to win is always going to be there, but if you start thinking in the lines of, if someone else goes pay to win, that's not affecting me. I'm here for the community and have fun in the game. They're really starting to bring it to where new people can come into the game and do well. They're giving you gear, they're giving you like starter stuff. Nice. They actually have a tutorial now. It's actually really cool, right?
Nice.
Yeah. It's on Final Fantasy, but
I see what you did there.
Are you doing Legion?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm big in the Legion, bro. I already got the guild has been prepped. We switched to Alliance, and I spent a whole week playing Legion and showing people different classes, getting them prepared for it. So right now we're on a chill mode, and we just saw the movie today, and I'm on.
Speaking of that, I was gonna say that I saw the movie last night, and if anybody doesn't like it, want me at Goldshire. Like I will fight you.
Meet me in Barron's Chat if you don't like this movie.
Yeah, tell me what you didn't like about it.
Yeah, the movie was good. It's not a movie that's gonna blow you away, but it's a movie that's gonna make you go, okay, all right, I see the potential. Yeah. I can't wait for the next one, type thing. I think Duncan did a really good job for a first attempt. He didn't ruin it. And that right there, if it's a video game movie, that's huge.
Yeah, it's gigantic.
Oh yeah,
Hog is still a bitch.
Hey
All right,
man, Corona.
Corona though.
So
My God.
sounds like my last week was not as epic as you guys last week. A week ago today, I started my 24-hour stream and then went until Sunday afternoon at 2 p.m. like a crazy person. It was an amazing time. I had an absolute blast. The community was huge. I've got multiple community managers that came out to assist. And
What was that? I didn't hear it. What was that?
I had multiple community managers come in.
like for
24 hours.
Oh, for the 24-hour stream?
Oh yeah. I remember hosting that. Yeah.
So I played 6 games. I played I started off with XCOM 2. Then I slid into, I want to say it was Elite Dangerous. Actually, I went to XCOM 2, Elite Dangerous, and Dreadnought before Elite Dangerous. Then I went into Battleborn, Star Citizen, and then I started to play Total War Warhammer. And then like this was at the 20-hour mark where I started to do that. So it was a little tiring. So then I ended up moving to Overwatch for the last hour to get me hyped up. And that was a huge deal because that was lovely. But that was a blast. And then like Sunday night, 6 hours after I ended my 24-hour stream, I streamed for like an hour just to make sure I started the stream on Sunday because I was not playing when I said I was going to do 366 days of streaming straight. And people are like, why are you not asleep? Like, it's like, all right, my bad. I'll go get some sleep. But this week has just been a pretty decent week, man. Played XCOM Monday, played some what was it? Can't remember what I played Tuesday. It was an awesome game. Then Wednesday I went into Warhammer Wednesdays. So I got today it was made today I got my sponsorship grab bag from Steel Series. So that was awesome.
It's so nice.
It is pretty. It's pretty. So
It's
that
so
was
pretty.
that was made official like late last week that I'm now sponsored by Steel Series, so I'll be able to give away some awesomeness every month.
Welcome to the family, brother.
Appreciate
For
you,
real,
bro.
welcome.
Appreciate you, bro.
Welcome.
So like the keyboard and mouse I'm sitting here is like brand new. Like I'm wearing the new headset, and it's just amazing that right. Like I had to do it because I'm so used to like flipping the cord over my shoulder. Like right now it's just weird to have lovely audio, but no, like for me it's an accomplishment. I feel like, and it's funny because my girl was sitting with me today. I just was like, man, this is epic to me. And she's like, yeah, like for one, I get to get your old gear, and then for two, she looked at me. She's like, no, seriously, you busted your ass to get this. So tight work on working this hard to the point where somebody likes the idea of sponsoring you to show their stuff. Like if a brand likes you enough to sponsor you, that says a lot about what you do. Mm-hmm. So that felt pretty good. But that's literally my last week in a nutshell. And moving on from the weeks, old school versus new school. Discuss whether that be games, TV shows, movies, memories. I don't even care. Like, what's your first old school memory?
How old we talking?
Like not necessarily memory. Like let's go old school games, or whether that be games, movies, TV shows. Like what was your favorite old school thing back in the day? When you think back in the day and you think your favorite thing, what is that thing?
Sonic 2.
Sonic 2?
Metal Gear.
All right. Yo, gargoyles. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, you talking about TV shows?
Bro.
Animaniacs, bro.
It's anything,
Yeah.
bro.
Oh,
It's
TV
anything,
shows.
bro. It's anything. Games,
Gargoyles,
TV shows,
man.
movies.
TV's not the
Darkwing
same.
Duck?
Yeah.
Oh man, I love Darkwing Duck.
Red and Stimpy? I go for days, bro.
Hey,
My Saturdays were lit.
right?
Bro.
We had this
Sitting there with my
conversation.
juice box all day long.
Saturday mornings were the business.
The
Dude,
best.
The
that's-
absolute
what is
business.
this? That's what's the problem with kids these days. Like, you know, it's funny in chat, Twitch chat. You see Twitch chat, all the kids acting like little e-thugs behind the computer and all this stuff. They don't have cartoons, man.
That is the problem,
Bro, like
They don't have nothing to do. I'm serious. It sounds funny, but on Saturdays we were watching cartoons. We knew when X-Men come on, our dreams were over.
God.
That stupid ass movie
That's what it
on
was.
Fox was gonna show right after X-Men.
that's what was it.
We
X-Men.
know it.
The Dragon Ball.
People sleep on VR Troopers.
Oh
Man.
my god.
VR
Dude,
Troopers
Beetleborgs.
VR Troopers were the flames, but like it was always VR Troopers and then the original Power Rangers, son. Like I still remember when the White Ranger was like came on screen. He had a tiger mask and it was like, yo,
It flew down from the sky and shit.
like,
What?
who the fuck is this kid? who is this kid? Like, and then he just came out wrecking everybody, and then he was like, nah, I'm just playing, I'm good. So it's like so much awesome that we could be talking about like back in the day, yo. Like, it's just this whole conversation is just joyous for me right now. Like,
It's nostalgic as hell, bro.
right?
Yeah, man.
And then like my old school for gaming, man. Like my first gaming memory was Moon Patrol on the Atari 2600.
Oh wait, you want to? We're going, like, really, really that far back,
bro? Like,
That was even my first
it was old in the house at the time. We wasn't balling. This was like an old system, but it was mine, so I played Atari 2600.
Lion King on the Super Nintendo.
Nice.
I thought you were about to say Game Gear because
Nice.
No, even on the Super Nintendo, bro. Try to get past that damn monkey stick.
Stampede. Oh,
I hated that damn thing.
I love that game.
You have not known hard. Like that was Dark Souls for me as a kid.
wait. You played Aladdin.
Aladdin too.
I hated Aladdin with fire and passion, man. I hated Aladdin so
On
hard.
the Sega Genesis. I actually got the cartridge over there.
Yeah, that shit went hard. Y'all remember that X-Men game? Not the original one that was on arcade, but the one where it was
Super Nintendo one.
I think it was Super Nintendo and Sega Genesis.
It
Yeah.
could be like 3 different. You could be Wolverine, Psylocke, and
Nightcrawler.
Gamut, and Nightcrawler.
Nightcrawler was a beast in that game.
Nightcrawler was
a
that dude.
beast in that
Nightcrawler
game.
was that dude. That game was so sick. I remember I used to.
I'm gonna pop 2 names out, and I guarantee there's gonna be some sort of feels in here right now.
Okay.
Kung Fu on regular original Nintendo. Kung Fu was the flames, yo, and Double Dragon.
Oh,
Double Dragon.
Double Dragon made
You're
me want
welcome.
to punch a wall.
You're welcome, because Double Dragon made you want to punch a wall. But when you beat that game, you know how amazing you felt. Somebody tossed out Zombies Ate My Neighbors in there. A boy and his blob, son.
Streets of Rage, man, was my.
I was about to say Streets of Rage.
Bro.
That was my shit.
Streets of Rage was flames too. It was really flames. But nah, man, like there's so many amazing games
Street Fighter
that
2.
happened back those days. But you know what's funny? We're talking about these games that are so tight that real life, these games were Dragon Souls levels of hard, or were Demon Souls levels of
they
hard.
were.
And people don't
Gated
understand
is the-
this now. People are like, man, this game is so hard. It's like, bro, this is just, you just died 5 times. That ain't nothing, bro. Like, try dying 30 times trying to pass that part. Like, try getting down to your last fucking continue before you gotta restart the whole damn game.
Nobody knows the struggle
You
until
don't
you
know
lose
this.
the memory card.
Bro!
No, not when you lose it. When you put it in your system, because
And it's white.
Turn that bitch on and nothing's there.
Nothing's on that.
Devastation.
Oh, it's even worse. Or when your little cousin comes over, or like when your little relatives comes over and they're like, I want to play. And they save over your shit from the last level, son.
Bro.
You got to the last level over like 3 months. It took you forever to get to the boss. You're like, yo, I'm going to go back to this boss first chance I get. And then you go into your room, and then somebody tiny is just sitting there holding the controller like, and then they're on level 2, and you just look at them like, I know damn well you don't have the wherewithal
to throw your bitch ass out the window.
to have selected the second save slot. Like just the pain in your soul is just like, I want to choke you out right now, but I can't because our parents is downstairs. I'm just gonna leave this room right now because I want to choke you and I can't. No, let me leave. And then you go back and play it, and that sure enough they erase your shit.
This was my routine playing games back in the day. Grab it, you're like, jam that motherfucker.
But it never worked. It never worked the first time. It never worked that first time.
Move it twice.
No, son, you were being nice. You had, and there was always that one dude who would like get the rubbing alcohol, rub it on there, and just
Yep.
and then like you put it up to the light, like, all right, let me make sure there's nothing on here. Like you knew what the hell was missing, and then you put it in there, and it's like it boots up, and then just like after 2 seconds of the logo, it just turns into gobbledygook. It's like, no.
Yeah, all the spectacles.
Yep. So then you had to take it back out. You had to blow it, and then you had to, and then like the real the good ones among us were always like, all right, dude, what you really got to do is you got to put in Super Metroid. You got to start Super Metroid. The second Nintendo logo pops up. You got to take it out and real quick replace it, and then you good. And then it always works. It's like it doesn't work the first 2 times. You're like, I hate this kid for lying to me, and then you do it. You just All right.
There was a
Pow.
on the,
Oh, it
on the
worked.
Still
And-
Series segment, on the Still Series interview, like they asked me about that, like playing games back in the day, and I told them like I got caught one time because I used to live in Chicago, come to Miami, and then go back and forth. And I went and I grabbed the Mortal Kombat 3 from the rental place. I peeled the sticker off of there and I put it on the Ren and Stimpy cartridge, and I took Mortal Kombat 3 back with me to Chicago. I come back and they drive me straight back to the fucking rental place. When I come back from Chicago, I get my ass whooped when I got home. They're like, you have some explaining to do.
Damn.
Yo, speaking of PS2 disc read errors, bruh, you guys remember Bushido Blade?
Yeah. Still got that bad boy.
Oh man, nope.
That game was hardcore.
That game was so hard, but I remember vividly me and my brother were playing it. I don't remember exactly what happened after we played, but I just know that someone sat on the disc.
Oh.
And I'm a kid. I'm trying to figure out like if there's any possible way that we could like stitch it together with like tape and glue. And obviously doing that is a terrible idea, but we did it. We try to put it back in. I have not broken a single disc since that day. Never happened again.
I remember breaking discs because like.
Oh, like we're doing it on purpose.
Right, like I hate this dude, and then 2 seconds later, like, yeah, like, so I did that like twice and never again because I was like, all right, I will never do this again. I will never do it again. And before I forget, guys, when I got that tip earlier, that was from AndyMustDie, and he said, could we split this among all 4 podcasters evenly? So if you see something from your PayPal later, that's from Adam.
Oh wow.
Fuck
wow.
it, Adam, man. Adam is one of those people that I told you about that's just become a brother in my community.
That's
Yeah,
what's
he's
For the
saying
last
sub to
2
my channel and sub to his channel. Dude, Adam, really, man.
Appreciate that, man. Appreciate that. Real life.
It's huge.
Appreciate the hell
I'll
out
make
of
sure
that.
that gets spread. So thank you for it in the first place because you didn't have to do any of that. But I try not to interrupt the broadcast with stuff like that. But I mean that's the community looking out for us. So the least I can do is acknowledge it. Like I try to mute all the like the follows and stuff like that because I didn't want that to be like just too much because it's not about me right now. It's about us as a group. So like I thought I had muted it, but I still do have my updates, so I know what's going on. So everybody that's followed me, thank you. If you have not followed these gents, I would highly recommend doing so. And I just put a command in the chat. So if you guys are not following everybody on this panel right now, it would mean a lot to us if you follow us all, because we're all kind of awesome in some way. I mean, I ain't shit, but still, it's the principle of it. But so we just got to talk about the old school. So questions. I don't think anybody's been gathering questions, but if you guys have any questions for us, I know you've probably answered some questions that you guys haven't even remotely thought about of asking, but if you ask something, feel free, guys. We would like to answer your questions, so do it.
I got a question for y'all.
What you got?
What cons are y'all going to this year?
What's a life? What's a life?
Right?
Right now, I'll start since I'm host of the most. I am going to TwitchCon, and after TwitchCon, I'm trying to go to CitizenCon. Like, it's just that's 2 separate tickets, like that are on the West Coast, week after week. So like TwitchCon is one weekend, literally the Sunday that's the last Sunday of TwitchCon, the following Sunday is CitizenCon, and it's like, Jesus, man, like I have a job, like how am I gonna pull off both of those cons? Because I bought it, like I'm probably not gonna be able to go to CitizenCon, just realistically. But I would love to go. Like I bought my ticket just in case, like because I plan on going, but like that's could be a problem. Other than that, like I've been lucky enough, and I have the community that's amazing enough to have helped me go to 2 different cons thus far. So I've gone to PAX South and PAX East after having not gone to a PAX since like 2011. So 2011 was my last prime, and then because of my community, I was able to get to both South and East this year. So I am so thankful. But I'm gonna shout out. Will, you going to any cons this year, man?
Yeah, man. So last year and the year before, I went to a shit ton of cons, like way too many. And most of them I went as either press or as an artist at a table for like Comic Con. So this year I'm not doing nearly as many of those as last year. So mostly Boston Comic Con. I'll be going there with a table. If you guys want to go check that out and see me there, you can do that. I don't have the table number yet, but I'll be sharing the space with my roommate who's also an artist. Yeah, that'll be fun. It'll be fun. And New York Comic Con, I didn't get a press pass for that, but hopefully I will get tickets for that and then go to that. But those are the only two I'm really trying to make it out there. If I can make it to TwitchCon, I will. I would really like to, especially to kind of hang out with you guys some more, hang out with some more people, meet more of the community, meet some of the people who've been following me, and I'm really excited to get to that. I don't know if it'll happen this year though, but I'm gonna try.
I'm just going to TwitchCon and BlizzCon right now. I gotta make I have not been to a PAX yet. I have like the worst luck in the world because PAX East was gonna be my thing. Tickets sold out in the blink of an eye. Before I even knew it was being sold, it was sold out. I don't want to because it's closer to me. So PAX West is so far west. I'm already going to TwitchCon and BlizzCon. That's just too expensive for me. So next year I plan on doing PAX East, TwitchCon again. And I always go to BlizzCon because that's my con to relax and just network with fans, or I hate you calling them fans, community members and
With
other
fam.
Fam, there you go.
There you go.
It's
not a fan, that's fam. Because
I don't like saying fans. It just makes me feel no. And because those are MMO players, and there's not really a convention for MMO players, which is kind of weird because MMOs there's so many, and I think it'd probably help like. It would have helped WildStar if there was an MMO convention because
WildStar
they didn't really
was
market.
good, man.
Yeah,
WildStar.
But anyway,
Man, don't get me started on that, please.
Yeah.
Don't get me started on that.
I have friends that personally work there, and it's sad.
Same. Yeah.
Real life. I played WildStar for like a couple nights, like right when they revamped and went free to play, and it was like that's an enjoyable game, yo. Like
it just needs community, man.
Right, and it's like
that's it.
That's the only problem. It's like there's so many games that are fully worth the time, and I think a big part of the problem nowadays is just that there's so many games to choose from that MMOs require a lot of time, man. Like, can we give them that much time? Like, do we have enough time to like keep the gaming industry pumping along as it is now? When you get something like WildStar is a fully worthy of your time, right? Like Black Desert. I played the hell out of Black Desert, loved the hell out of Black Desert, fully worth your time. Then we got Blade and Soul, which is a great game, fully worth your time. Like all three of them though, MMOs, it takes you a whole long time to do any damn thing. So that's not even getting into games that are just solely multiplayer. Like we could talk Battleborn, which is an amazing game, fully worth your time. We could talk Overwatch, amazing game, fully worth your time. And we're just talking about since like October and November time frame. These are just games that have been out since October, November. Holy crap! I do have two questions that I got situated. So I got the MMO question and the rebooted question. So I got those two for now. And
most anticipated game of E3 as well.
We'll put that one last. So like because there's a whole lot of questions.
Good questions, guys. They're like
very good questions.
Yeah. All right. So where were we at? We just got lost in the middle of that.
Questions.
I think we started answering a question and then we got lost. I'm trying to remember what that question was because I don't think everybody.
The question was cons.
Oh, the cons that we're going to.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I think we did handle that. All right.
Wait, Saint. Did Saint say which you did,
Saint
right?
said was all the cons he's going to earlier because he's going to all the cons.
All the things, man.
Potentially.
All of the cons.
Depends. But right now, yes.
Preparing for
yes.
Fair. All right, so let's go to this next one. So
we'll be at RTX next month, July 4th. So if anybody's out there, hit me up.
I don't even know what RTX is.
Me either.
RoosterCon. Rooster Teeth.
Rooster Teeth. Okay.
It's very YouTube specific. It's less Twitch, more YouTube.
Nice.
I heard of Rooster Teeth. Yeah.
Oh, I know Rooster Teeth. I just didn't know that was their con.
Yeah, it's in Texas, so I'll be out there.
Man,
and then San Diego Comic Con the following week.
I don't know nothing about that. Comic Con would be lovely to go to, but
oh my god, I'd like nerd gas.
Bro, I don't. That's why I don't want to go. Because if I go, I'm just not gonna be able to get through the hallways because all the cosplay that goes down there, the amazing cosplay. My camera is generally near me at all times. My camera's on this table over here. Like I'm all about. I love cosplay, so I would spend way too much time taking pictures of people. But to segue from this, what was your first real MMO experience? And we'll start with QMG for this one to go in reverse.
First MMO experience was Lineage 2.
That's a good.
And that got me hooked, man. Like I was young too, bro. I was really young, but I mean, when you killed somebody and you got that full loot,
what?
Oh man, like that just started the PvP. That just amplified it, and then you realize when you die, you lose everything. Kind of killed my soul a little bit, but like, that was the first time getting into a game and just like saying, "Oh shit, this is a whole world." Like just run. There's no loading screen, right? And it was pretty like back then. Like I have these memories of Lineage 2, and in my head, it's like, oh, it looks amazing. And then there was like this private server, this like rehash server that they came out with like at the beginning of this year, I believe. Like they had this like whole thing that they did. And I went back and started downloading it. I looked at screenshots. I was like, oh God, this looks like crap. I was like, damn. Because when you think back, it's like you're so involved in that game that it just ends up looking amazing compared to now. And then I went into World of Warcraft and I spent like the greater time of like 5 years losing multiple girlfriends from that game. So
that's fair.
Yeah.
I know what you mean. I was in the World of Warcraft beta. That's how long ago I've been into MMO. So I'm just gonna shut up and slide it on the tech. Tech, what was your first real MMO experience, man?
Okay. I'm embarrassed to say this. My real first MMO experience was Ragnarok Online. But people will argue that Gaia Online was a MMO. People will argue it. So I went from there to Ragnarok, but I was young. Ragnarok was a new world for me, man. It was the first time I played something with multiple people around the world. It was huge back then. I remember seeing that thing in like video game magazines in the back panel. It was right in front of your face. Played it, was blown away by how people lived in that world. Like your priestess that pocket healed for you was your girlfriend. You know,
right?
It was that real. And like people back then, people would not log off. Like they would go through that.
They wouldn't. What's the log off?
Yeah. Right. They set their merchants up. I gotta sell this amount to get this guide item, blah blah blah, do this. I gotta stay up around the clock to make sure I get this I forgot what you called them. There were world bosses to get the card drops, and it was just insane. Like every day I logged into that world and was a part of that world. I literally escaped life to be a part of that world.
Right.
That was my first one, man.
Will, what you got, man? First MMO.
Technically, my first MMO. All right. Technically, my first like MMO, like just straight up video game, was probably DCU. Because I actually didn't really get into MMOs that much through growing up. I didn't have like a PC that I felt was capable of really handling it properly at the time, so I didn't bother doing it on PC. That was where most MMOs were. Technically, my very first MMO though was this is gonna date me. You guys remember like AOL chat rooms online?
Of course.
That was your first MMO?
ASL,
Bro,
son.
like,
ASL.
ASL, bro. What's up?
No, not even just ASL, like online role playing. Like I would go into chats, like I had like an intro set up where I would have like this crazy, like I had a trench coat, like
I got my sword in my wizard hat.
I got my sword on my side, the doors are open.
Hey, I'm all about that ERP, bro.
Bro, like it was only words.
You can ask Mr. Happy about our ERP sessions in Final Fantasy.
I honestly want to do a RP one day, man. I've never done one, like a Dungeons and Dragon type, whatever. I'm in the midst of talking to Steven Lumpkin. That it's hard to go off the tangent, but JP and them, like I really want to try it, man, because I watched that shit. I'm just really interested in the world that you can create with your imagination. It's crazy. But anyhow,
all right. So if we're talking about first MMO experiences, y'all are probably gonna clown me for this, but my first MMO was EverQuest.
You don't clown about that. I never played EverQuest.
Bro,
I feel bad for never playing.
So much EverQuest, like the original EverQuest. Like you had to go do corpse runs. I remember when WoW had corpse runs. Like Early on, WoW had corpse runs, and people like don't know that now because that's not even a part of the game anymore. Like you died, you had to go get your shit, and then you were in the spirit world. And it's like, all right, this is essentially a Warcraft version of EverQuest. Like that's what brought me on with Warcraft in the first place, because it was like I get to experience this EverQuest and like a cartoony environment, and it's prettier. Yeah, let's do this. So my first was, man, I miss corpse runs, bro. Like I think that is one thing that is gaming is missing in general, man. Like corpse runs kept you honest, which was huge, because that was like, do I need to go in this area? I see that these enemies are red to me. I should probably not fuck with that. Now you could just be like, you know what? They're red to me. I don't care. Leroy Jenkins, and then you're going in there not giving a shit because you know that you're just gonna revive in a minute and then do something else. And it's like, not so much, right? So
Yeah.
it's like it's odd because I miss that. And that's part of the reason why, like, everybody clowns Star Citizen. Like, a lot of people, I can't say everybody, a lot of people clown Star Citizen, but I love that aspect of it. Like, your character can die. GG.
So can you explain that game to me? Because I'm very lost on Star Citizen. Is it an open world sandbox, or is it just an instance based?
Star Citizen right now is an open world sandbox because they're in alpha for all intents and purposes. A lot of people are pissed off at Star Citizen. They're like, the game should be done. The game was announced. They did their Kickstarter in 2012 with like a handful of people, like a room full of people, to start work on a game that they're trying to revamp computer gaming. Announced in 2012, keep that in mind. So it's 2016. Like, think of it, if a game got announced at an E3 in 2012, chances are that game is done and on shelves by now. So a lot of people are used to that kind of time frame. Like, shit, games from E3 2014 are available. So that's what they're used to. Star Citizen, like, think about it, an MMO takes like 5-ish years minimum to get done. WoW took ridiculous amounts of time. Titan, which became Overwatch, they've been on that for like 7 years before they switched it and changed gears over to Overwatch. So people it's been 4 years, the game should be done. It's like, actually, they're getting the things in now that an MMO is based on. Like, they've been building the world, they've been building the tech behind such a massive experience. Like, they took the CryEngine and have remade it into something completely different. They took the CryEngine, which, you know, we know from like Far Cry, like the what's the name of the game, Crysis games, right?
Crysis,
like,
yeah.
which are beautiful games, but they're meant for like a single like area. You load in a city, GG. Don't touch anything else. They've taken that, they've rewritten enough of it to where you can have a planet that is 10,000 kilometers in diameter and slowly come into that planet, and all the detail show up as you fly toward the planet, and then you can land in spots on the planet. That's the kind of shit that they're doing with Star Citizen.
That's nice. Well, I hope they can pull it off.
So exactly. So I'm in there as well. So I am basically saying, I'm stoked for it because of that amount of detail. And then the players, like, it's like you know how, like, we're talking about corpse friends in EverQuest. There's areas in space that you probably shouldn't go to, and if you go to them, you have a chance of getting your ship blown up. And if your ship gets blown up, they're gonna give you a leeway, right? Like, you're not gonna die every time, but like, if you get your ship blown up, then you might have suffered a horrific accident. Like, they assume that you hit your eject button, but if you didn't hit your eject button, like, you may come back with a metal arm because you lost your arm in the explosion.
That's pretty cool.
Or you got a Kano face because part of your face got blown off in the
So
explosion.
what you're
Now you got
saying,
a
this
metal eye.
game is gonna make No Man's Sky look like shit?
No. Because No Man's Sky is doing a completely different thing. No Man's Sky is doing something that's colorful, that's amazing, that's completely procedurally generated. That's why they have something like quintillion planets or some shit like that. It's a ridiculous number, and they don't even expect, from what I gather, people are saying that people are going to be close enough at some, like, people will eventually, or the possibility exists that you could see another player, but the possibility also exists that you never will.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
there's a lot of things going on with that, but that's a completely different type of game. Star Citizen, they're literally limiting it. It's supposed to be like 100 and some odd star systems, and that star systems, like, there's a sun, there's planets that are surrounding it, there's stations in that star system, there's hundreds of those. Right now, they're still building the first star system just to show that they can get it done, because they've been spending time building assets. People don't understand how long it's going to take to make a character model. to animate a character model properly, to animate that character model jumping over something. These are things that take a long time in game design. Frank knows what I'm talking about. I know it. So like you try to make like if you could put a character in a T-pose right now and then you try to animate him walking up to a desk picking up a Coke, that takes a lot of time, right? For picking up a Coke. Now think about they took the
muscle structure, bone structure,
right?
Talking about rigging, animating,
right?
It's ridiculous, man.
Just animations on one character model could take months alone, and that's not even counting the fact that they have to build that character model. The animations could take months, right? So there's four branches of a single company working on this game that they just got to the point where they have enough people to start pumping out content. And they're making 2 games essentially because they're making Star Citizen, which is the MMO, and they're making Squadron 42, which is the single player game. So Squadron 42, like the first part of it is rumored to come out this year. Or they not even rumored, they put that on their website. It's supposed to come out this year. So
is it mechanically the same as Star Citizen? Just one single player?
Nobody super knows, but like one of the things that I'm gathering is that it seems like they're making things for Squadron 42, and once they're done with Squadron 42, they get added to Star Citizen. Because Star Citizen being the MMO, like they don't need to do the same things for a single player game as they do for a multiplayer game, right? Like you don't need to worry about like paying in a single player game. You don't need to worry about connecting to a server and making sure that the people in that server see everything at exactly the same time in a single player game, so they can make the assets and animate it for the single player game and then just shoot off to making a mission. You can't do that with an MMO. You need to make sure that it animates right. You need to make sure that it animates right for everybody that's around it. You need to make sure that when you're flying the ship, it's pinging the same people at the same time at the same distance. So like there's a lot of different pieces of the puzzle that people don't think about when they're like, this game should be done. So Star Citizen is a completely different thing. I think Star Citizen is getting a lot of work done to it now. They're starting to put in the persistence that what people would expect out of an MMO. So like now they just started to add in like money. So like you actually have money, you earn money on missions, and you can actually start spending it, and it persists between your logins. So you can log out and come back in, and it's there, and it's not locally; it's on the server. That's that's a huge step for an MMO. But like once that's in place, everything else can start to fall in line.
and that excitement that he has for Star Citizen. That's how I feel about Crowfall. Like that's what I'm hoping.
Crowfall is gonna be so flames, yo. Crowfall is gonna be so flames. I've been in the Crowfall playtest for a minute, man. Like Crowfall is glorious. Imagine an MMO that only has like, hey, look, this world is gonna exist for 2 weeks. Go wreck shit and build your castle up. What? You can go in there and then your battles actually make a difference? Yes, please. Like it just gets lovely. It gets lovely. But I'm gonna shut up. Like we can talk about this all night. So let's get to it. If you could use one classic to reboot, which classic would you reboot and why? Frank, what you got?
Man, I'm a huge fan of the Super Metroid series, man. But I want them to I want to do the old school Super Metroid, to where it was, the Super Metroid on Super NES. Like,
Gimme.
I would love to see that in beautiful, high-res graphics.
Give to me.
Third person or first person. I think first person in the same world would be amazing. Like
They need to hire the team that did Shadow Complex for that.
Yeah.
Shadow Complex was fucking amazing. But I'm gonna shut up.
Nice.
QMG,
That's a good up.
It really is a good choice. Like that was my choice, so I got to come up with something else.
You're asking me?
Yeah. Metro.
All right. Tenchu.
Oh man.
Yes,
Tenchu.
Yes,
I love
sir.
If I ever have a daughter, I'm gonna name her Ayami.
Dude,
Damn.
legit.
Love Tenchu. Yes.
Oh.
I want it. I want it so bad.
That
Every
game,
year.
yo, man, that was a good game.
That was a great game.
I don't even know what to say to that. Like, I'm just gonna shut up. Will, what you got, man?
On the same line of Japanese, Onimusha, man, we need it.
No,
Yep.
Onimusha would be.
We technically got it though. Neo is
yeah, it's kind of.
The keyword is kinda.
Yeah.
I really was gonna say Metroid, so I have to come up with something else. I would say Dark Cloud.
Okay.
Dark Cloud was good.
Dark Cloud was flames. And if not Dark Cloud, Jade Cocoon.
Oh, stop hitting with the fails, bro.
Bro, like Jade Cocoon was like the first
That was
non-Pokemon Pokemon. Like that game was
unlimited. It had unlimited monsters you can make.
It was just a ridiculous amount of monsters, yo. That love and life, fam. So since I can't do Metroid, since you already did it, I had to drop 2 pieces of fire that people.
All right,
would
wait.
understand and agree with.
Let me hit somebody. Let me hit somebody with this.
I'm about to say another one, bro.
Do it.
I'm so salty. There's not a freaking new Legend of Dragoon.
Okay, let's talk.
That's a classic, man.
Real life.
One of the best
real life,
JRPGs you can play.
That
real
was
life.
so underrated.
real life.
Yeah.
So underrated. I remember.
Suikoden.
I remember.
Oh, yo, the feels, fam.
I remember playing the Legend of
Suikoden.
Dragoon demo over and over and over again until I finally just bought it. But like, oh my god, that game, the demo alone was better than so many other games.
Yeah.
Dude, it was better than a lot of Final Fantasies. Like I thought that was gonna be the new thing. That Star Ocean, just bring back all
Star
our
Ocean, bro.
JRPGs.
Star
man.
Ocean. To the end.
Son,
there's a new one
Parasite
coming out.
Eve.
There is a new one coming out.
There's
Yeah.
no one coming out.
Parasite Eve.
Oh,
Okay.
dude.
Parasite Eve.
Let's
Oh,
keep it. If we
man.
drop in flames, we drop in flames.
Dino Crisis.
Dino.
Yeah.
Legend of Legaia.
Legend
I
of
was
Legaia.
trying to, dude. I was just gonna say that.
Legend.
Crimson Skies.
Crimson Skies was good.
People sleep on
Man.
Crimson Skies so hard. That was the
so
best
good.
flight game simulator. Like it was an arcade
That
flight
whole
game, but it
thing,
was the
yeah.
best thing on Xbox, man, when it first came out. And
Ooh,
somebody
Xenogears.
mentioned Xenogears. Yo, there was a new Xenogear just not long ago. I got that joint. Like I'm gonna be playing that on stream because you got mechs and shit in it. Oh, that's gonna happen.
Silent Hill. Oh wait.
Ooh.
Too soon? Too soon?
Fuck Konami. That's all I'm saying. Konami. That's all I'm saying.
Well, I'm gonna say this. We've gotten many Metal Gear games, but I want a reboot to the original Metal Gear.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't. Nope. I think Metal Gear has had enough rehashes because once we get like later into the game, like a lot of these newer Metal games were like in the same time frame as those games. Like, dude, shut up. We've had enough. Legend of Mana. Good lord, man, stop it.
Chrono Trigger. Oh, bring it back.
Stop it.
Crash Bandicoot.
Stop it, man. Stop it.
Oh, Crash Bandicoot's coming back, bro. It's coming back.
I've been hearing rumors,
Yeah,
man.
it's
I
coming back.
don't want to ruin anything for anybody, so I'm not gonna say what I'm gonna say.
Jet Set Radio. We gotta get off this topic. You gotta go.
Yo, you didn't even have to do that. Jet Set Radio and Jet Moto. Good lord, man. Next
Jet Moto.
topic.
We already got Lucio. Why don't Blizzard make it shit? I'm just saying.
All
right.
All right.
Yeah.
Most anticipated game of E3 will go.
You don't got it? I got it.
All right, Frank, you are hype about it. What you got?
Go Horizon Zero.
Horizon.
Yes.
Horizon.
Yes.
Please.
I can't even front. That was literally gonna be my choice. I was like, we gotta go with the mechanized T-Rex. How do you not get amped about that? It's a
You know
mechanical
the story?
Yo, it's
That's
a mechanical
story.
T-Rex where she's shooting arrows, pinning it to the ground.
I
Get
really
it
want
to
to
me
know
right now.
I want the story.
they're animals. I really like. I'm so fascinated. Like, because you would think like of any form that the machines could figure out or formulate themselves into.
I can tell you why. It's based off of like it's based off of life itself, right? We have the dinosaurs and all that stuff. It's a recreation of life cycle. That demo had my eyes.
I was sold.
so hard.
I was sold. And they just announced it is coming out in February.
February 17th.
Son. I'm already there. Damn it, plastic, twisted metal. God.
Siphon filter. You guys gotta stop.
See,
Yeah,
I
that'd
can't
be
front.
fun.
Siphon filter was flames.
That was
But nah, man. Twisted Metal was my shit, yo. Twisted Metal Black was some of the best gameplay, and like, I love the fact that all the stories were basically like Crypt Keeper. Like, you get what you want. Like, it was just like, all right, you got what you want, but you ain't gonna like it. But nah, man.
You know who could pull that off? The creators of Rocket League. They could pull off Twisted Metal. Easy.
Yes, the hell they could. They
They
put
could.
Sweet Tooth is in the PS4 version of Rocket League.
I didn't know that.
Yes, he is.
Yeah,
So,
he
like,
is. He is. Yeah.
So
That's
that's
sexy.
I know Final
they're fucking
Fantasy
with us.
15 and I know Final Fantasy 7 the remastered is coming out, but it is not turn-based. If you're gonna remake Final Fantasy VII, that's got to be turn-based. You got to be able to select your Phoenix Downs and revive your teammate, and that be your turn.
Your summons.
Next person.
Come on, what are they gonna do about summons?
Let's not get into summons right now because that's a whole nother day. That we can
I
talk
want
about
my
that.
grand summon Bahamut.
That's another
what I
day.
want.
I was gonna say Ifrit, so like we can go all day on the summons. We can go all day on the summons, but
Man,
I'ma shut up. So since obviously 3 of us have the same game that we're amped for at E3,
Technically 4. Because you was gonna pick that too.
yeah.
Yeah.
I was saying like QMG, were you looking for Horizons like that too, man?
No, I was really feeling Horizons 100%.
No.
Like for real.
That is literally my PS4's background right now because
Like I don't even have a PS4. I'm gonna buy one just for fucking Horizon.
yo, that game has gotta happen. That game has really gotta happen. Like in my life, in my soul, I need it in my life. Like give it like twice.
Someone's listening to this.
Really?
Yo.
Twice.
I mean, I've already felt emotional attachment to the main character, and I don't even know the goddamn game.
Yeah.
Like the fact that the movement, like, because me being an artist, I was just gasming. The grass and how she shot the mechanical freaking deer looking raptor thing, and she apologized to it and the way she rubbed it, and I was just blown away. Like she felt bad for doing
I
what she
was
had
so
to do.
when she whipped out the arrows, bow and arrow, took out
You echoing?
a T-Rex. I didn't even mean to echo like that, but I feel like it fit. I feel like it fit either way. But no, like that game. I mean, we're talking about a studio that is known for amazing shit, though. Like,
This is some out of the world stuff. If somebody says, "Can you think of a new innovative game?" that would have never came to mind. Like that just.
who would have thought to mechanize T-Rexes and then to have the people there like caught like in like they're like it's BC and then you
And it's
see,
and it's tribal.
it's
Their
BC.
huts are made of mechanical shit. Like it's just so good.
Like,
And then you got New York in not with like a little simulation of New York in the background. It's all in ruins, and that's your relic.
Growth, yeah.
Oh my god! Like it's so good.
But again, we're talking about Guerrilla Games, man. Guerrilla Games
No, there's
drops
Oh,
flames.
yeah.
People sleep on the Killzone series, man. People sleep hard on the Killzone. Like the
was a-
Killzone that launched with the PS4, that game was
Shadow
flames.
Falls.
Graphics?
That game
beautiful.
was flames. That game is still gorgeous.
Yeah.
And the PS4's been out for like what, 3 years now? Like that game is still fucking gorgeous. So like we can't sleep on the fact that Guerrilla is a beast, man. Like a beast, and I can't wait to play Horizon at all. Hell, I need to stream Shadowfall just for the shit of it.
I think one developer that I would love to see come out with something new is developers that did Heavy Rain. Quantum Theory, I think it is.
Quantic Dream.
Yeah.
Quantic Dream, good lord.
Like-
they make so much good shit. The next game, I think it's like Philadelphia or some shit like that with the robots.
Yeah, with the robots. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Yes.
I want to see more of
I
that.
really want to see that too.
That game is going to have a spot in my life because Heavy Rain was amazing.
Jason.
But no, like that game was glorious and people slept on it so hard. I was mad. I was like, people were like, oh, that's not a game. It's like bullshit. You go play it and then you come back and tell me that's not a game.
You're not a game.
Right. And then what was the follow-up they did to that? I beat it. I still have it. Like I should be able to see the name of the follow-up they did to that on the PS3. Let me go find that real quick.
They had the that one cinematic where they did the test. They were just doing an art test with
my
the
God,
that was
robot.
robot?
When they constructed her and then they put AI into her and
That
she got
was
to
the lead into
snort.
Detroit. That was literally what turned
Yeah.
into to their newest game. So right now, I'm going to look at it right now. Beyond Two Souls.
Oh yeah.
People slept
Yep.
on Beyond Two Souls. That game was great.
Yeah, it was great. It was great.
It was great. So like they can make story-based games. I still remember Fahrenheit. Fahrenheit was a fucking great game back in the day. So like
Indigo
every
Prophecy.
every one of their games was amazing. So I can't even hate. But we got a good question right here. What are your thoughts on the PS 4.5?
I think it needs to happen, like sooner than not. Systems are behind PCs, man, and it's pains for me to have a beautiful, gorgeous PS4 paperweight Because my computers do what I need them to do, man. And I think it's time for consoles to push it, to be able to give people computer, what's the word I'm looking for, guys? Computer specs and systems to have them expand. Like, I used to be a console guy, man, playing Dynasty Warriors and shit. Like, I was getting down, man. But
Yes.
when I got my PC, when I finally got PCs that can play games, I'm like, what's a console? It's a paperweight. Oh, okay. So I'm ready for the 4.5. I'm ready for the new Nintendo. Xbox, you know, hopefully they can make it back into a system and not an entertainment cube. Like, I'm just waiting for games to be what they were before. We can sit here and talk all day about all the great games that were, but now it's just feels like they're just trying to dig too much into the money and entertainment. Back away from this stuff. You want to do VR, cool, concentrate on it, but bring us games first. We can have a system that can give me the greatest blowjob in the world, but if I can't sit there and have a library of beautiful games like I did for my PlayStation 1, I don't want it. So 4.5, bring it.
Time out. So you're turning down the most beautiful blowjobs in the world, though?
I mean, it's only so long that blowjob can sustain you, man. Because after that,
You get numb.
yeah.
Well, here's my question. Because the benefit, of course, of PC is that you can continuously upgrade it. You know, over the years, there may be a scenario where the PS4.5 comes out and it's more powerful than the most top of the line PCs. In 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, the PCs are going to have something that are going to outclass it. So I see what you're saying. Like, when you come out hard. At the same time, it's like chasing something that you can't ever catch.
Well, what I mean by that is 1080p, 60 FPS on every single game, because we're limited when we stream on a PlayStation 4. 30 FPS is absolute dog poo-poo, man, compared to 60 FPS. You can see it, you can feel it. Try to play Dark Souls on 30 FPS. You cry. When you press your button and it registers way late.
Yeah.
So, you know, bring that. The graphics are there for consoles, but they can still push it more. They know they can, because the consoles at the end of the day are it's another computer.
Yeah.
But as they brought up on Drop Frames before, it comes down to the cost of the items that you're putting in. Do we make this for the average user? Can a 9-year-old take out a memory card or take out a graphics card and put it in the same way without breaking something? Because that's who's playing the games as well. So it's a lot to go into it.
And that lies into I was actually thinking about something like Tanker just mentioned in the chat, something that I was thinking in my head but I didn't want to talk about, because I was thinking it was applying to the Steam machines, is that consoles, if they were modular, we would not have as much of a problem as we are right now. But Tanker makes the point of, like, they're doing with mobile phones now, but there's still not, like, I've seen stories on mobile phones that were modular, but I've never seen an actual modular cell phone. Right.
Correct.
So if we're talking about modular consoles, how far are we off from just PCs anyways?
Exactly.
The only way to make that work would be for somebody to design an interface like PCI or PCI Express and a computer that would modularly take it out and put it in and be a new piece and immediately be registered by the system. But the problem with that becomes the issue that makes consoles what they are now anyways. People go to consoles because they don't want to go through all the upgrade process. They don't want to spend all the money on the upgrade process. And as somebody who bought the PS4 and the Xbox One on launch, I don't know if I'm okay with them 3 years later releasing new upgraded systems specifically so that they could hit 4K or so that they could put VR into the systems. It's like,
if you really want that, get a PC, right?
Right. Like, if you want to spend $400 every 3 years, how is that different from me upgrading a video card every few years? Like, then I can play everything no matter what I want. I don't have to deal with the walled garden. I have more options. Like, don't get it twisted. I love my console, but that argument to me is what breaks it away. Like, if you want a modular console, you might as well just go to a PC because you're going to save money by going to a PC. We had modular in the like with the Xbox 360 when they had the hard drives, and there was the 20 gig hard drive. Forever and a day was $100. When I could go to Circuit City and get a 20 gig hard drive for $30. So we've seen what happens with modular consoles. So I'm not against them releasing updated hardware. And the thing that I see they're talking about is making sure that all these consoles are not going to replace the current ones, which makes sense. But then, like, to me, I feel like if this happens, this is just gonna set a new precedence to making consoles 3-year cycles for opposite like for stepping levels of console, right? So for instance, is that my computer making that noise or somebody else's?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I don't hear.
Okay, so yeah, that's mine.
I hear it.
Okay, cool. So okay, it's not just me. So it's but when it comes down to it, it's if we're talking about modular consoles that are consistently coming out, then we're talking about an Xbox One and then an Xbox next level, right? 3 years from now, they're going to come with a level higher than that to where the Xbox One gets phased out. And then if you don't have that medium level Xbox, you can either get that medium Xbox or that high tier Xbox. And that's where I think it's going to go if this happens and people accept it. I mean, I'm not against that because people have issues with the console market anyways because PCs tend to just destroy them when new parts come out. So this keeps card manufacturers keeping stuff. This keeps Intel busy or AMD busy because they're continually producing new gear to match for these new consoles. So that keeps our industry alive. It's just if this happens literally 3 years after or 4 years after the previous consoles got released, I don't see a reason why it would be a problem to release a new console every 4 years. That okay, cool, as long as you like, all right, the Xbox One the second is out, and then when the Xbox One the third comes out, then the original Xbox One is no longer as useful. So then like, all right, if as long as you have the Xbox the second, don't worry about the third yet. You don't need to get that if you don't have all the parts that you need for like the TV to upgrade that. So I think that's where it's going to go because as somebody mentioned, that's been working for Nintendo on their mobiles forever and a day.
Yeah, that's basically what it would be like if it was just a regular cycle, right? If there was a regular cycle, you could just with this new proposed cycle, you would skip every one. If you wanted to.
Right, you could completely skip the second tier cycle and just go for that third tier cycle and get it to upgrade and stuff works on all of that. That would be
as long as it's all backwards compatible, I don't have a problem.
Exactly. So that just means that we're going to be dealing with. I mean, right now I believe Xbox, PlayStation, and Nintendo all using AMD internals. And like video card and processor and all that. So I mean AMD would probably love that because they're introducing new hardware, and I think the smartest move would be to price the newest console at the price of the Xbox One and the PS4 when it came out, or it's the same value, and then take the current console that's out, half it in price.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm talking about half it in price from what it is when it comes to the market, not from the original price. Like right now, you can get an Xbox One brand new for $300. With some stuff. Drop that down to like 150, they'll fly off the shelves.
That's what people don't understand. Right. Nintendo is
or really $199.
Nintendo is so successful in their sales, not only because it's a good system or whatever, or they've just been around forever. It's because they know how to appeal to everybody. They're in everyone's homes. You may not even touch a Nintendo, but you bought one at some point in your time because everyone can afford it. And that's always been their push in their market, and they've been doing great, even if the system sucks. Hey, John down the road can't really afford much, but he got a Nintendo, So that's the deal. I think they need to take out all this bullshit about it can turn your TV on, it can talk to you at night, it can caress your thoughts. Like, take that out. It's a game console at the end of the day,
See, I can't front. Like my PS4 does that without any extra stuff. Like as long as it's plugged in through HDMI, the PS4 can turn your TV on if you turn it on. That just turns it on.
I really want to just talk about caressing thoughts for a second. Like, how does that even work?
Well, Siri tried, but she failed.
You told her to divide by 0, and she told you had to.
I was like, Siri, please tell me the biggest manhood in the world. Let me look on the internet for that. Cannot find it. Sorry. Like, that's what happens.
But I mean, I think this has to be where they're headed with this. Because you can't create a new PS4.5 and a new Xbox One just for VR and think that that's going to be good. Plus, if they sell fantastically and the market accepts it because there's new stuff, there's new VR. Think about like we're on the first iteration of VR. If this takes off, what if we find out that that's not good enough to get the best version of VR, and then the second version of VR makes it so much better, and with a little bit of boost in power, you get so much more out of it. So then we're in a situation where it makes perfect sense for them to, all right, cool. 2017, these new systems come out, cool. Then 2021, the newest systems come out. Because that's not even a bad idea, really, because they're refreshing. They're refreshing the same system. As long as you're backwards compatible, I don't care.
Well, you just brought up a good point. If 4.5 comes with a decent VR set with the system,
That's
it comes out at regular price then I'd be all aboard, because VR is absolutely the future. Everybody's getting on board, but those systems need to come with the equipment. Like
not at $499, bro. On the PlayStation for $399 to come with the new system and VR headset.
Well, let's talk about quality though, because PlayStation VR headset is not that good of quality compared to the Hive and Oculus. Those things were made like with so much care. PlayStation, you know how they do. Look at their move system. They got around every which way to make that the cheapest move that they could, just to say they had it. So in my past dealings with PlayStation, they may do the same thing with the VR. But if they introduced it to get it in people's hands, because I thought Nintendo was going there with this new system. Here's VR. Oh, we're giving it to you, because they're the ones that do that, right? They're the ones that give it to you.
But if we're talking about this happening, right? There's too much. Like I've talked to many people.
Well, you know, you're gonna do different packages,
anyway,
right?
But
VR,
of course. But I've talked to many people, and I've read from many people that PlayStation's headset is arguably like the best that they've used for VR. They would not sacrifice that for some sales. Like you can't have people say like. You can't have people saying like, yo, that PlayStation headset is flames. I don't know what they did to kill it. They're dumb. Like that would be the headline for months if they did that. So they're not going to do that. That would be stupid. So let's be real. I think if they're going to do that, they're going to release it one with no VR headset, two with a VR headset just at double the price, because you're paying for that VR headset that is going to be that killer. But I think I don't know if VR is really done yet as far as being fully announced, because we haven't seen Oculus's response to the controllers in the Vive. Like from what I've experienced, I've had the Oculus on. Hell, Epic brought the Oculus and she brought the Vive and the Samsung Gear. I've used them since she's been here. The Oculus doesn't get touched. The Vive has controllers that allow you to stand up, walk around, and do things, whereas the Oculus is literally sit in front of your computer and do the same things that you've been doing, just with a nice headset on instead of a monitor. So Vive is winning that. And that we can't really, and that's the thing. Right now, if you want a full VR experience, you got to give it to the Vive. That's your choice. But with Oculus not on, say what?
There's another one coming out, right? Google has one coming out.
The one from Magic Leap down in West Palm. They haven't even announced the hardware for it yet.
Magic Leap is what's up though.
See, the smart thing to do is one of these headsets, whoever it is, I think Oculus is the closest one doing it, get with this console companies and just formulate that junk right around the console, because I think Oculus is doing that with Xbox right now. And I think they're going to kill it, man, because the Xbox controller, as much as I am not much of a big Xbox fan, that controller feels good in your hands. So if they could just have them design the controller, I mean, I'm not saying have a controller like this, that'd be awkward, but just having something, maybe gloves or something, you know.
Yo, people are mad at. I'm sorry, I'm seeing the chat.
Oh, you got it.
I'm seeing what they're talking about in the chat, and they're saying people are mad at Pokemon Go's graphics, and this is pretty freaking sweet. Like Pokemon Go is pretty right now.
Yeah. Like the thing I was gonna say about the Move though, like I haven't really had any bad experiences with using the Move in general. I don't know how well it's gonna work with the PlayStation VR, but like you said, I heard from a lot of people that the PlayStation VR was by far the most comfortable for long periods of time.
Really? I heard the Vive was.
I heard the Oculus was lighter, and I've seen the dev kit, but I heard the Oculus's final version is lighter than the Vive, and it feels better over time. It's just that the Vive has the whole setup. I've seen it. You can put up the little sensors. You can move around with your hands, and Evil Juju says that. Right. I mean, if you're getting a Vive, you probably already have the space for that. And Evil Juju points out that Oculus has handsets, but are they available right now though? Like I've heard that they're still working on their handsets. Every time that I've looked into it, like they're not done yet, and they're still being worked on. But if they're not done, and the people that have an Oculus can't buy them, that does count.
Yeah.
But I think we could go on for this all night. We've already gone all night, so we kind of gotta tone it down a bit. So to go with the final question, not even really a question, what are you guys up to for the next week? And we'll start with QMG. What kind of flames are you putting up for the next week, good sir?
Honestly, man, just kind of figuring out all the stuff for my trip because I leave to Texas, possibly moving at the end of this month. And then honestly thinking about knocking up the stream again and just kind of just going down and just have some fun on stream since I have some downtime this weekend. So that's pretty much it for me on what I'm doing this week.
Cool. Tech, what you got, man?
Spending time with Katie up until she leaves Tuesday, and after that, we're going to be diving back into some Overwatch and Final Fantasy. July coming up, we got pre-patch for World of Warcraft Legion, so we're going to be getting kind of on the hype train about in July, trying to prep the guild, trying to get people money that's in the guild and stuff like that, and do transmog runs, just have fun with the community, building it up,
Nice.
trying to build something solid. Other than that, making plans to. I'm working on the subcomic. The subcomic is starting to get kicked off as well,
Nice.
so that's gonna be pretty big. So that's about it.
All right, well, what you got, man? What you gonna be doing for next week?
More drawing, more digital art on the stream, more singing, as good or bad as you may interpret it as.
Smart.
I'm pretty much at the end of Dark Souls 3, so I'm gonna beat that. Catch up on a backlog. I got Valkyria Chronicles Remastered that I want to play because I loved the first one. Like I loved playing it on PS3. Gonna play some more Street Fighter. I haven't touched that game in a long time, so Street Fighter 5 is my shit. I want to play Metal Gear again. People will keep hitting me up and asking me to get back on that. Same with Witcher 3 and Fallout, and I want to hit up some more indie games. I've been meaning to do that, and a bunch of devs sent out codes that I just haven't touched yet.
Nice.
So
Sounds like a plan. Like for me, I normally would be doing Fallout Friday, but our Friday is almost up here, so I'm probably gonna still smooth into some Fallout. I started a survival run last Friday, and it was my first foray back into Fallout because I started the character on launch, but nobody was here, so I was like, all right, I guess I'm just gonna go and do something else. And then I'm coming back to it because there's been a lot of content released for it. I went and got Season Pass like a couple months ago. It's getting heavy, so yeah. So I had to smooth back in. I'm gonna go back in here, and I died at my first major mission. So like the first town you go to, they're like, here, go do these things, and until you can't save until you sleep in survival mode. There's no beds in the town. So like you have to explore the town, help these people in this building, and then go fight this monstrous thing that wrecks your face. And then now I have to go start from the entire beginning of the town again, and it's just kind of hurt my soul a little bit. But that's tonight. This weekend I'm playing some XCOM. That joint is on sale over the weekend, so I'd be a crazy person to not play it. And then there's actually something awesome 2K related stuff that I'm gonna be coming out with soon. I'm trying to.
One thing, the TwitchCon Orlando meetup next week.
Oh, yes, indeed. Next Saturday, I believe that
Yes,
is.
sir. If anybody's in Orlando.
Player One bar in Orlando.
Hold on, I'm gonna drop the tweet and
I was just about to go try to find it. Nicely done.
can you drop that in there? It's in the chat. Somebody drop that because my Google Chrome is screwing up. It's not letting me copy.
I'm trying to remember where I saw it.
It's in the chat. It's in the Zoom chat.
In the Zoom chat.
Oh, there it is. Because I was like, I saw it in the chat earlier. Which chat was it in?
Yeah, that's right. We're gonna be doing the Twitch Orlando meetup at Player One Bar in Orlando.
And I added you guys as mods just so you guys know. So,
if anybody's in the Orlando area, we got like 120 signups already, bro.
Oh,
that's pretty sweet. I didn't even know that.
I doubt 120 are gonna show up, but
Still,
signups.
you never
it's
know,
still
man.
gonna be pretty tight.
You never know, man.
I'm gonna get you on that they have the Ninja Turtle arcade machine, like from back in the day, the 4 players.
Oh, we gotta do that, bro. We gotta do that.
Yeah. Oh, it's the bar is fully stocked. They got nothing but old school arcade machines in there. They got
It's
like,
funny,
a whole
I live in
section for
Orlando. I've
console.
never been to that bar. It's a damn
It's pretty
shame,
dope,
really.
dude.
But
We're gonna have a great time.
what's flames though is that it feels good because I see the banner, right? Like I see it, I see that I'm on it, right? And it feels good. It feels even better to know that when they started planning this, I was not partnered.
Oh yeah.
So that feels awesome. That like, because I'm on there with partnered people. Like I was gonna be on there with partnered people as a non-partner, and then it was like, hey, guess what, partner? So like, oh, yay! So like, feels good, man. But yeah, man, that's more XCOM this weekend. Then next week, obviously the Orlando meetup is gonna be awesome. During the week, I'm still gonna do the standard stuff. I gotta play some Elite Dangerous because the new Engineers update is boss mode. Star Citizen because I have been loving the progress they've been making, and then back to Warhammer on Wednesday because that game is ridiculously good. I did not know that I would enjoy it as much as I do. But
Nice.
I think that should wrap it up for us. So
Yep. Shout outs and we good.
So yes, I was just about to say, like, so we're gonna go around and have everybody tell you about themselves and reasons like that. So underneath us, each one of us, you see that we've got our Twitter handles, we've got our Twitch handles. So go ahead, click or type those into a new tab, or you could type in !CT or COCOT, COCOT, and that'll literally give you links to all of our Twitch profiles. So go follow us all if you haven't already done so. But I'm gonna shut my face. I'm gonna send it off to my left. Will, talk to the people real quick.
Yeah, this is Will BlackOni Wiggins, and you guys know the deal. I do a lot of art live streaming, a lot of graphic design. That's what I do for full-time work. I am very tired most of the time because I work a lot. They have me do a crap ton of stuff while I'm there. I live stream a bunch of different things. I like Metal Gear as my favorite game. I do Street Fighter, I do action RPGs, and mostly action games. And I stream mostly on weekends, but every now and then throughout the week, you'll see me on there as well.
That's what's up. Next up, Frank, talk to the fam.
DJTechLive, aka Frank is what the community calls me by my real name. I'm a variety streamer. I do MMOs and all variety of games. Also creative. We have a subcomic coming out very soon. It'll be starting on Stream Live. So if you want to check out that, come within, I think next Sunday is when I'm going to start doing that. Also, hit me up on Twitter and Twitch. I like to have fun. I'm a little crazy. And if you go on to TwitchCon, check our panel out with me, featuring me, DJKnight, and Unholy Temptress. And we hope to see you there. Don't be afraid to come up and say hello.
So I'm confirmed for that?
Yeah, you confirm.
Okay, cool, because I know you said that they had to go through the confirmations to make sure that people were good.
Yeah, you're going to be getting an email closer to the event.
Sweet. All right, and lastly, QMGSaint, talk to the fam.
All right. Well, thanks for having me on the show, guys. My name is QMGSaint. I broadcast part-time, full-time PR. If there's anybody in here as well that has been shy or anything, you can hit me up on Twitter. If you're a new broadcaster, you're an established broadcaster, you just want to get connected more within the industry and just, be in the know-how of games coming out, games that I'm helping cover to get you guys in there. Hit me up on Twitter. Don't be afraid to add me. My DMs are open to everybody. You don't even have to be following to DM me. And beyond that, man, just honestly just going to hang out, do the stream from time to time, play what I want, chill with you guys like what we did today, and just have a good time,
Ow, ow. All right. And
Cool.
if you're here, chances are you know who I am. My name is DJKnight. I'm a space and sci-fi primary streamer who does dabble into the non-space and sci-fi things on a regular basis. As always, I'm sure our panelists would agree that there are thousands of streams on Twitch that you could have gone to. So it means everything to us, that the fact that you came and you hang out with us, because you could have been anywhere. So hearts out to you guys. Thank you very much, because without you guys, we wouldn't be here. So thank you very much for that. We're going to wrap it up for Chocolate Thunder here shortly, and I'm going to be sliding into a little bit of Fallout 4. So if you want to hang out, cool. If not, feel free to go where you like, but it's been a pleasure to have you in here. Thanks for hanging out. This is Chocolate Thunder signing out. Have a fantastic night. Love you guys.
Peace, guys.
Bye, guys.
What is that?